Christmas came early last night as the Astros won in dramatic fashion in the bottom of the ninth to take the first game of the series against the Brewers. Tonight, Dallas Keuchel takes the mound, trying to keep the celebration going and get the second win of his young career. So grab the BBQ and sit back and relax. Astros baseball is next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight on this Saturday night, it's game 2 of this 3-game weekend series, the Astros versus the Milwaukee Brewers. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros won a thriller last night with 2 in the bottom of the ninth for their first walk-off win of the year, 4-3. JD?
Yeah, it has to be the best night of the ballpark this year. The Astros came close against the Nationals in that 4-game set, but couldn't pull it off and finally get their first walk-off win of the year. A lot of fun. Thank you, Brian Bogusevic.
And now tonight, Dallas Keuchel tries to build on what happened last night, but Norris gave the Astros a good start last night.
Well, when you look at these numbers, you figure Dallas Keuchel's got a fighting chance here at home. He's been rock solid, 1-1 with a 3.33. He makes his 5th start here at Minute Maid tonight. On the road, he has really struggled, 0-3 with an ERA of 9. 2 starts ago against Milwaukee in Milwaukee. He got knocked around a little bit, gave up 7 earned runs.
Coming up tonight, it's Marco Estrada for the Brewers. Can the Astros pull off the late inning theatrics the way they did last night? They took advantage of several opportunities. And Brian Bogusevic got the big hit to win it in the bottom of the 9th inning. First walk-off at home all season for the Astros. Let's see if they can put 2 together with another win tonight. Next.
$800 Progressive today. It's the Astros and the Milwaukee Brewers, game 2 of this 3-game series here at Minute Maid Park. And if you're thinking it's a flashback night, well, it sort of is. We're flashing back to last night. The Astros are wearing the same uniforms from Flashback Friday. And that isn't as easy as just saying we're going to do it. They actually had to go through Major League Baseball and get approval to wear them again because they were something special. But they had a win in them last night. We'll see if they have 2. And the guys who will be describing the action are upstairs, Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
They're going with that karma from the 90s with the blue and gold. And we'll check the starting lineup now. And it's brought to you by Hyundai for the Milwaukee Brewers. Norichka Aoki in right field, leading it off. Carlos Gomez in center. Ryan Braun in left. Aramis Ramirez at third. Corey Hart at first. Ricky Weeks at second. Jonathan Lucroy the catcher. Gene Segura at shortstop. Marco Estrada the pitcher.
Dallas Keuchel working for the 9th time this year, and he's got 1 complete game. He's 1-4, 5.60 the ERA. He's worked 45 innings, walked 26 while striking out but 16, and he's allowed 8 home runs. So the walk home run numbers are the reason why he's got that inflated ERA. If he can keep it in the park, limit the walks, he's got a good shot. Defensively, it's Martinez, Bogusevic, Pierce in the outfield. And we get our first look at Tyler Green as a position player. He pinch ran last night. Very versatile guy. He's your shortstop tonight. Carlos Corporan hit his 3rd home run last night. Big dramatic swing of the bat, helping the Astros win that game.
Now Keuchel ready to go against Aoki. Aoki has a .354 on base average. He takes that first one, and it's good for strike 1. Gary Darling is the home plate umpire for this game tonight. Aoki at .287 with 6 homers, has 25 runs batted in. He was not in the lineup last night. Nigel Morgan was the right fielder. Foul back, and it's no balls, 2 strikes for Keuchel. Keuchel in that game at Milwaukee, July 31st, giving up 7 hits and 7 runs in 4 innings, 86 pitches, walking 6, fanning 1. He surrendered a homer to Ramirez. That's poked toward shortstop and line to Tyler Green. 1 down for Keuchel.
A little half swing here by Aoki, just trying to punch this ball into left field. He catches it off the end of the bat. Just a little soft pop to short. Good start for Dallas Keuchel. Last time out, a no decision. 6 innings, 12 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. That was against the Nationals, the game the Astros ultimately lost 5-4 in 11 innings.
Carlos Gomez with 10 homers has driven in 30, hitting .252. Fouling him back. Yeah, in that game it was weird that Washington had 14 hits and 5 runs in 11 innings. All 14 hits were singles, so Keuchel did not surrender an extra base hit, walked 1. And the numbers actually added up to a quality start for Dallas. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. No balls, 2 strikes to Gomez. Gomez 0 for 4 in last night's game. It's 1-2.
Well, Dallas doesn't have overpowering stuff, so he's the type of pitcher who's not going to strike out a lot. He's going to get the ball put in play a lot. If he keeps it down and he gives up singles and gets ground balls and double plays, that's going to be the key to success for him.
There's a strikeout.
He won't strike out many, but if Gomez is a guy who just swings at pretty much everything. Struck out his first 3 at bats last night, could not handle the Norris slider. Now it's the Keuchel changeup that has him staring at the barrel of his bat with indignation. How did you let me down again?
So 12 hits in 6 innings, 105 pitches for Keuchel on Monday. And now Braun grounds to second. Altuve over to Moore. It's a 1-2-3 first for Keuchel, who puts up the first 0 tonight. Trying to get it all framed up.
Focus.
Yeah. The focus on this lineup brought to you by Hyundai. Tyler Green, Jose Altuve, Brett Wallace, Steve Pearce, Scott Moore, Brian Bogusevic, Fernando Martinez, Carlos Corporan, Dallas Keuchel.
Marco Estrada for the Brewers tonight. He hasn't won yet. He's 0-5. He's made 13 starts. 6 times he's worked out of the pen. He hasn't pitched that poorly, though. 4.13 ERA. 80 2/3. He's walked 16. Struck out 83. But the home run's been a big problem for him. Braun, Gomez, Aoki cover the outfield for the Brewers. And on the infield, it's Ramirez, Segura, the young prospect picked up in the Greinke deal with the Angels. Weeks and Hart on the right side, and Jonathan LaCroix solid behind the plate. Estrada, fastball, curveball, changeup. Every now and then he'll cut his fastball.
Tyler Green leads it off and looks at ball 1. Marco Estrada just turned 29. He's from Sonora, Mexico. Went to Long Beach State. 6th round pick of Washington in 05. Grounded foul by Green. As JD mentioned, he was a pinch runner last night and proved to be instant offense coming off the bench after the leadoff walk in the bottom of the 9th to Brett Wallace. He went into pinch run, stole second, continued to third on a wild pitch, and scored on the Steve Pearce single. And that tied the game in the 9th inning. Tyler bangs one, and there's his first hit as an Astro. It's into the corner. It's going to go for a double for Tyler Green. His 10th two-base hit of the season. Welcome to Houston, Tyler Green.
And every time we went over to play the Cardinals and Tyler Green's name came up, the guys over there would tell us, he might be our best athlete. He can really run. He's a pretty talented guy. Has not yet hit at the big league level, so he'll get plenty of chances here, you have to assume. Houston has become the land of opportunity for a lot of guys, and Tyler Green going to get a shot.
He's aboard for Jose Altuve. Altuve, a .296 hitter with 5 homers, has 30 runs batted in. And he has 27 doubles himself. Showing bunt. And he looks at ball 1 from Estrada. Altuve had a pretty good series against Washington last night, 0 for 3 with a walk. So his average was at 300. It's dipped a few points. He has fattened his average against Milwaukee pitching, .429 this season, 1 homer, 6 runs batted in, and he's 2 for 4 against Estrada. Estrada worked against Bud Norris in Milwaukee July 30th, got a no decision, giving up 2 earned runs in 7 innings. He left with his club trailing 3-0. Altuve takes it. It's ball 2 to Jose. Jose has 40 multi-hit games. That's tied for 4th in the National League. There's the July 30th start for Estrada against Houston. Prior to that, he had a very good relief stint here at Houston July 8th. 3 hitless innings. This is his 14th start. And smacked off the glove of Aramis Ramirez into left field. Hard hit bullet getting Green to third base. Altuve ripping one. And it's back-to-back hits for the Astros, putting them in business here in the 1st.
Man, these black and white jerseys are good. Ramirez doesn't know which way to go. Green beats him down the line. Altuve goes the other way on him. He's like a soccer goalie trying to read the penalty kick, and he got him wrong both times. Green has to freeze, has to be able to get back in case that ball's caught. So no chance for him to score, but a great chance for the Astros to score. 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
Brett Wallace has the RBI opportunity at 310. He has 4 homers, 8 runs batted in. Wallace 0 for 2 with a pair of walks last night. He drew that important walk leading off the home 9th inning. And the throw goes over on Altuve. Altuve with 23 steals in 30 attempts is drawing that attention, and the Astros have been very successful stealing against Milwaukee. As a team, they're 12 for 13 against the Brewers. Pearce is on deck. Wallace looks at it. There's ball 1.
Well, it was Wallace that got things started last night. It kind of flies beneath the radar because walk doesn't really get that much attention. But it was a leadoff walk by Wallace that got that inning started. Then Green pinch ran for him, went all the way to 3rd. He was trying to steal, and the ball kicked away from the catcher. But Wallace, really a good disciplined at bat to work that leadoff walk.
He pops it up. Lucroy over. On circle. That's one out for Estrada. And Steve Pearce will follow.
Estrada not a hard thrower, but he will work effectively up in the strike zone with a four-seam fastball. Well placed there, up above the hands of Wallace. Pitch that Brett would be better off just disregarding if he can, but it looks so tantalizing on the way to home plate.
Steve Pearce was reading signs from Dave Clark. He has a .333 average, 5 runs batted in, and a 6-game hitting streak for Pearce, who had the big run-scoring single in the 9th inning last night to tie it. Then he continued to second on the error and scored the game winner on the Bogusevic hit. And he headed for the dog pile in the outfield.
Yeah, that dog pile had tremendous range. They were out there right center.
It moved further than any we've seen in a while. Mike Barnett said Steve Pearce made some good adjustments during the game last night. They were really working on Altuve here. He said he was finding it difficult to keep his weight back earlier in the game, but by the end of the game he had figured out that situation. Steve has retooled his hitting a little bit during this season. More of a right center field hitter now than he was. Now Altuve will advance as the ball rolls away from Lucroy. And it's runners at second and third with 1 out.
There goes the double play for the Brewers. That's a big base there. Breaking ball in the dirt. Lucroy able to block it but not contain it.
Pearce had a sacrifice fly when he faced Estrada in Milwaukee just about 2 weeks ago. He'd settle for another one right here. Green the runner at third, and Altuve behind him. Curveball missing, and that takes the count to 2 balls, no strikes. Well, the Brewers got a very good start last night from Mark Rogers. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. He left in a position to be a winner for the first time as a major leaguer, but the bullpen let the Brewers down. That's been an ongoing theme for them this year. That's right there for a strike to make it 2-1 to Pearce. Brewers are 51-60. They have lost 10 in a row on the road now, where they're 18-34. Their last road win was here July 8th. Off the mound into center field, scoring Green and Altuve. Throw to the plate, not in time and offline and into second base. Pearce to make it 2-0 Houston. 7-game hitting streak for Pearce. 7 runs batted in, and he winds up in scoring position.
The Astros pick up right where they left off last night, swinging the bats well. They give Dallas Keuchel an early 2-run lead. Fastball outer third and up a little bit, and Pearce bangs it right back through the middle, and Carlos Gomez again with a bad decision. He's not going to throw out Altuve. That high errant throw allows Pearce to move into scoring position.
And the Astros have scored in 3 consecutive innings now, the 8th and 9th last night. Scott Moore's the batter. Moore takes, there's ball 1. 220 for Moore, 5 homers, 14 runs batted in. The Astros did not have a hit until Moore put down a bunt single with 1 out in the 5th last night. Scott then wound up the night 1 for 4, scoring a run. This is his 30th start in the last 39 Astros games. That one's in the air, and he flings the bat away with Weeks looking out at the right fielder, Aoki. 2 outs. Both these teams have hit well against each other in the season series. Milwaukee leads the season series 7-5. The Astros lead here in this ballpark 4-2. Bogusevic will be next. His 23rd run batted into the season last night sent the Astros and their fans home happy. 214, 6 homers for Brian with those 23 runs batted in.
Yeah, he had a good night. He had a base hit earlier in the ball game, a rocket to center, and then he lined out to right in the at bat prior to the game-winning knock.
Inside from Estrada.
This is how it ended. He just muscled that one by Ricky Weeks. And off we go.
Let's find him and let's move this pile.
Let the beating begin. Gang tackling, but they can't bring him down. He keeps his feet moving. Picks up valuable yardage after the hit.
High drive to right field. This one might get out. Aoki all the way back on the warning track. And Bogusevic winds up with the fly ball that's caught for the third out. 2 runs, 3 hits, a man left for the Astros. They lead it 2-0 after 1.
Second, and this August, the Astros are remembering the 1990s as part of their 50th anniversary celebration. Join us tomorrow when the Astros host the Brewers, as 10,000 fans will receive a retro umbrella courtesy of HEB. Root now and buy tickets at Astros.com. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Dallas Keuchel spotted with a 2-0 lead after 1. Delivers to Aramis Ramirez. It's strike 1. 293. Ramirez has 15 homers, 70 runs batted in. Leads the league in extra base hits, and there is a single to left field for Aramis Ramirez. Cracked bat on it. He got out in front, but found a landing zone in left field to get the Brewers' first hit of the night.
And looks like a changeup out away from him, but up a little bit, and that enabled him to get enough of it to yank it into left field. Not supposed to try to pull that ball, Aramis. You're supposed to go the other way.
Yeah.
You're never going to make it in this game.
Corey Hart with 21 homers, 55 runs batted in, and a 267 average comes up. He's 9th in the league in total bases. Ball 1 to Hart. 21 homers, 26 doubles, and 4 triples for Corey this year. He's hit .317 over his last 32 games. Hart was 0 for 4 last night.
Astros typically plays a strong shift for Hart with Altuve over on the shortstop side of second base. With a man on first, they keep him on the right side of the bag. Where he'd be the pivot man on a ground ball to third or short. It becomes a very difficult play to convert if you got all 3 of your infielders on the other side.
Runner going. Pitch pops out of the mid of Corcoran. It's an easy stolen base for Ramirez. His 6th of the year in 8 tries.
Yeah, fairly rare to see Ramirez running. But the Brewers do. They do a fair bit of running. They're a good offensive club. They hit a lot of home runs. They've got good team speed.
Since June 20th, they're second in the National League in steals. That's their 43rd. Hart has a 2-1 count.
And now that man on second, they do shift Altuve to the other side, and Moore goes way off for first base.
Ball 3 to Hart. 3-1. Dallas Keuchel went to the University of Arkansas. The Astros drafted him in the 7th round in 2009. He's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Played for 2 5A state championship teams in high school. Ground ball third. Wallace checks the runner. Throws high over Moore. It kicks back, and now Altuve will try to chase it down. Ed Cedar sending Ramirez to the plate. Here's the throw to Corcoran offline, and the run scores. It's a 2-1 game with Ramirez scoring on an error by Wallace, his second.
Brett played a fair bit of third base down at AAA. He started his career as a third baseman and then moved across the diamond to first. So he's still trying to settle in over there. He hasn't had much action in the games that we saw last night. He made a play to his left. He made the play, but it didn't look real smooth. And now the errant throw allows a run to come home.
Baseball is a contact sport for Corey Hart. He made contact with Scott Moore and the first base umpire, Dave Rackley, on that dash around to second base.
Pretty aggressive send there by Ed Cedar with nobody out.
Yeah. Strike to Ricky Weeks, who has 12 homers, 39 runs batted in, to go with a .218 batting average.
The move, Wallace to third base is basically an experiment. It's an opportunity to watch him play to get a sense of whether he can settle in and handle that position.
Weeks had 3 doubles last night to tie the Brewers team record. Takes that for ball 1. Weeks has hit 4 homers and driven in 10 against Houston pitching this year. Very slow first half of the season for Ricky. Now batting average not a very glittering .218, but with those doubles amounting to 24 this season, he has provided some sock. He has 12 homers and 2 triples. He takes that one for ball 2. Weeks has a .330 on base average. That doesn't really make him suitable as a leadoff man. Jonathan Lucroy is on deck. Ball goes wide of third, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, this should be a busy night for Wallace with Keuchel on the mound. Left-handed sinker baller. Typically that third baseman gets a fair bit of action, so it'll be a nice test for him.
Keuchel made his big league debut at Texas June 17th. Pitching well, but losing that game. Then he pitched a complete game win over Cleveland here June 23rd. 8-1. Throw to second base. And his next start at home very solid as well. 6 innings, 1 run, and a no decision. He has not won since that first major league win June 23rd. 4-game losing streak for Dallas. Weeks takes it. It's ball 3 and a full count now. Boston leads 2-1 at Cleveland. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brent Littlebridge hit his first for the Indians. San Diego leads after 1 at Pittsburgh 1-0 against A.J. Burnett. Chase Headley has had some big games lately. He hit number 18 tonight. Ground ball, and the shortstop Tyler Green moves to his left, makes the throw to Scott Moore, and that's out number 1. Hart taking third.
The 3-2 changeup there by Keuchel, getting Ricky Weeks out in front, inducing the ground ball to short.
This is the 5th start at shortstop this season for Tyler Green. He's played mostly second base, 40 starts at that position. Jonathan Lucroy with the infielders moving in halfway as a .326 average, 6 homers, 33 runs batted in. Lucroy had a hit in 4 at bats last night. That was an infield hit off the foot of Bud Norris. That's ball 1 to him. This is his 45th start at catcher. Since he came back from the broken hand, he's hit .242.
Well, he's been money in these situations. .426 with runners in scoring position.
Chase that one. 1-1 to Lucroy.
The two-seamer. Some sink off that outside edge. Lucroy a little greedy. Got that RBI waiting down there. That ribeye.
Yeah, ribeye steak goes very well on a Saturday night. That's the center field. That'll get hard home easily. Deep drive, Bogusevic back all the way to the track in front of the hill. And it's a tie game, 2-2 on Lucroy's sacrifice fly, his 34th run batted in.
Trying to get a cutter in on his hands and didn't quite get it in there. Lucroy put a good swing on it. Corey Hart could have got down on his hands and knees and crawled home on that one. Don't know why he would want to do that, but he could have.
Gene Segura comes up next. Segura has been at Double-A most of this season. 154, no homers, 2 runs batted in 4 games. To see if he might be the big league shortstop for the Brewers next year. Plan A for this season with Alex Gonzalez, but he's currently on the 60-day disabled list. Torn ligament surgery in his knee.
Is Gonzalez signed beyond this year?
I don't think he is.
It's the 1-year deal.
I believe so. Ron Renicky looking at Segura, and it's a 1-1 count. He was recalled from Double-A Huntsville on Monday. This one just rolls out to Keuchel.
Wow. How funky was that?
It almost came back toward home plate. 2 runs, one of them unearned coming in on 1 hit with an error, and it's a 2-2 game. Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. They're posing. All right, you can relax now.
Hey, we didn't say you could drink it. We got to use those again tomorrow.
We'll have to bring them back tomorrow. They're such good models. Well, you've got to keep with the theme, right? The Astros winning last night with these uniforms. They brought them back tonight. So if it works again tonight, make everything the same tomorrow.
Yeah. I drove the same car to the ballpark today that I drove yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. Using the same pen to keep my score sheet.
You are going to great lengths, my friend.
Didn't change my socks.
Strike one to Fernando Martinez. He was hitting .314 at Oklahoma City. What socks?
Ooh, big swing.
Backs this one into right field. Nice result for Fernando. He didn't get a chance to do very much when he was here earlier and had that injury, then went back to AAA. Well, maybe he can stay a while.
Gets on top of this one. Some pretty good bat speed. Astros getting some pretty good whacks at Estrada here.
That's hit number 4 for them. Carlos Corporon, the former Brewer, at .298, has 3 homers. He's driven in 9. And that included the big bomb last night. A line shot over the right field fence in the 8th inning. That made him 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in last night. Well, he has excellent numbers. .511 is his slugging percentage. There's ball 1. Estrada looking over at the base runner. Martinez at first. Dallas Keuchel on deck. And Jason Castro continues to progress. He caught 9 innings last night for AAA Oklahoma City. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Well, Castro could be back with the Astros Monday night in Chicago. He went 1 for 4 with a double. He's had 6 rehab games. Some at AA, some at AAA. Things going extremely well. Plan for him is to catch 9 again tonight.
In all likelihood, when he's activated, Corporon will be sent to the minor leagues, but he's done a nice job.
Really nice job. This is his 15th start. Here's a catcher with an OPS of 850 something, 857 right now.
And I'm just speculating. Maybe they would keep 3 catchers because Castro's coming off the injury. Move somebody else out. Won't be long until September 1's here anyway, and they'll be able to expand the rosters.
True. In the Astros case, they have a AAA club headed for the playoffs, a AA club headed for the playoffs. And that can affect September call-ups. Usually those clubs finish their seasons before the call-ups are allowed to go up. A little bit different if the big league club is a contender and they need somebody right away to pinch run or something like that.
Yeah, it's always you're torn as a minor league player if you feel like you're going to be called up. You want to see your team down there do well, but the longer your season lasts, the longer it takes before you get called to the big leagues sometimes. So you're kind of torn.
Estrada really goes down low when he starts that stretch. It's 3-2 now to Corporon.
For a minor league player, a big league promotion is a lot more valuable than a minor league championship.
Delino DeShields went 2 for 5 as he made his Lancaster debut last night in a 7-3 win, promoted from Lexington. They're both Class A teams, but Lancaster considered to be a high A team. Still a full count as Corporon battles. Bobby Grossman hit his first homer for Corpus Christi last night. Cy-Fair High School product, going 2 for 4. Jonathan Singleton had 2 hits, including his 15th long ball for Corpus last night. Runner going. 3-2 pitch hit in the air, and the center fielder Gomez got a good jump. He comes racing into shallow left center and gets there early. 1 out. Very speedy player.
Yeah, and Braun is going to give him plenty of room. And Gomez is all out. There's no stopping that guy.
No.
Like a runaway train.
There's only one speed. Keuchel has 3 sacrifice bunts. He's 0 for 9. Around a bunt here with Ramirez in tight at third. Tyler Green on deck. And he takes that instead. Ball 1.
Kind of funky, that little squat that Estrada does.
Yeah.
There's no real baseball reason why you'd do it.
He sets up at an angle. I think that's to get a better look at the base runner, maybe.
That move there is the one that's kind of funky.
Yeah. Starts very low. Strike makes it 1-1. Let's check this out. He really starts his hands down below his knees.
Well, he does a squat like he's working out a little bit. He's multitasking out there. He's pitching and getting some squat work in.
Way down low. Runner going. Swing and a miss. Lucroy's throw is there early. And there's the out. Martinez gunned down. It's a 2-6 caught stealing for out number 2.
Well, not a bad idea with 1 out in the inning already. Put a play on. Hope that Keuchel can make a little contact with some infielders moving. The bad news was it was a high fastball, tough pitch to handle up there. Keuchel came up empty, and a good throw by LaCroix gets Martinez.
Now 1-2 to Keuchel. And he just fouls it off Lucroy. Both these teams have run very effectively against each other this year. Lucroy has thrown out 20% coming into this game. Got that ball there early for Segura to put the tag on Martinez.
Martinez runs okay. He didn't have much of a lead.
Keuchel checked his swing. No, he didn't. The appeal went down to Jerry Meals, and he said he swung the bat. It's no runs, 1 hit, nobody left. After 2, it's tied at 2. And Bogusevic there in center field. AT&T Trivia says since 1974 named the top 5 Astros with the most walk-off hits in club history. Top 5 since 74. You know, a lot of times you guess the big sluggers, the guys with the most runs batted in, but they're not the ones because they didn't get pitched to in those situations. But still, you figured somebody played an awful lot of games here, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where you go first, right? You go with guys who just had a lot of hits, and then you assume they had a lot of walk-off hits. So Biggio would be at the top of that list. You would guess him.
Probably Bagwell and Berkman and Jose Cruz, Jimmy Wynn. But Jimmy said since 74. So
yeah.
He wasn't here that many years after 74. Marco Estrada takes strike one. No balls, 2 strikes to Estrada. Has 2 hits and 23 at bats. And it's upstairs for a 1-ball, 2-strike count. That's good for a Keuchel strikeout. Number 2 of the night. Let's see the answer to that question. AT&T will give us the top 5 Astros with the most walk-off hits in 74. Biggio, Cruz, Garner, Walling, and Bagwell.
How do you even look that up?
I don't know. Well, remember, game-winning hit used to be an official statistic, but it hasn't been for a few years.
Yeah, and that could have come in the 3rd inning.
Correct.
But this is a walk-off hit. It's game over.
Yeah. Aoki hit a line drive to shortstop earlier. Now Bogusevic had a couple of game-winning runs batted in the 8th inning this year. Not officially a walk-off, but he gave them the winning run in the 8th inning with runs batted in twice before last night's actual game-winning walk-off in the 9th. Bouncer first, fielded by Moore. 2 outs. Of course, on the Milwaukee side, there's a lot of talk about their bullpen. Their record when they have the lead after 8 innings is 43-8. 8 losses with the lead after 8 innings. That's an enormously high number in the big leagues.
Yeah, those losses really hurt. You know, you feel like you're in position to go in and high five everybody, hit the spread, say, hey, Steve Perry, this is some good grub, man. We tastes better with this win, and then it just doesn't go down as good.
No.
After that loss.
Gomez took it for a strike.
And apparently Ron Renicky is been very public with his lack of enthusiasm, shall I say, for the boys in his pen.
Okay.
Yeah, he's. I guess today in his I wasn't there, but in his little press gathering today, he was like, well, somebody asked him about the situation. Who should I use? Who would you run out there? What do you think? Something along those lines. Very frustrated.
All right.
And you can understand why. He just doesn't know where to go to get those critical outs.
Well, we thought maybe Jim Henderson, but he didn't use him. He had saved the last 2 wins for Milwaukee, but then in talking to the folks with Milwaukee, we heard that Axford actually had 3 very solid outings prior to last night, and he had been the closer. And there's a strikeout looking. That's number 3 for Dallas Keuchel. He has a 1-2-3 third. Keep the game tied 2-2.
Cancer history. It's on this date in 1982 that Nolan Ryan threw a one-hitter in a 3-0 win over the Padres. Terry Poole leads the offense with 3 hits. Dickie Thon extended a hitting streak to 20 games. 1982. This moment of history brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Also on this date in 1959, the guy you've never heard of, Gil Carter, hit the longest home run ever, reportedly. 730 feet for Carlsbad, New Mexico in the sophomore baseball league.
Come on.
That's what it says. But here's it. This will warm the cockles of your heart, JD. Gil Carter was a pitcher.
Wow. He must have hit it into like the back of a train that was going by.
2-0 to Tyler Green. He doubled and scored in the first inning. Well, let's see. New Mexico, so they were playing at altitude probably. But still, 730 feet. Is that what he said?
Fred McMurray put a little flubber in the baseball before that game.
3 balls, no strikes to Tyler Green.
Or Robin Williams for a more recent vintage of flubber.
Yeah.
To appeal to our younger audience.
You bet. Tyler was a first-round pick in 05. He's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Went to Georgia Tech. Here's a liner to right field. Aoki battling that sun, which streams in through the window panes this time of night on a Saturday.
Yeah, he's got sun. He's got lights. Ultimately, he has the ball, but it was a battle.
Down on a knee to catch it. Green hit that one pretty well. Altuve next. He ripped the line drive by Ramirez into left field in the first inning. He came around to score the 63rd run for him this year.
That one hitter for Nolan, he ended up with 12 one-hitters in his career to go along with his record 7 no-hitters.
Into center field. Altuve with another multi-hit game already. 2 for 2 here in the 3rd inning.
5 hits and a lot of good solid contact by the Astros off of Estrada already tonight. He was really good against them at their place on the Astros last road trip, but they've got a pretty good idea on how to go about beating him tonight.
Red Wallace is next. He fouled out to the catcher in the first inning. Segura and Weeks set up for a double play. Altuve takes off early. What a jump. No chance to get him. Boy, he just timed Estrada and he was off and flying. That's his 24th steal.
Estrada tried to shorten his leg kick, but he's still not real quick to home plate. No chance to get Altuve.
24 for 31 in stolen bases. Pitch was ball 1 to Wallace. Fouling that one. It's a 1-ball 1-strike count.
It's a good time to get third. Ramirez is way off the bag. You have to go like crazy to get there.
Tell you what, with Green and his stolen base acumen leading off, and then Altuve, 2 high percentage base stealers here at the top of this lineup tonight. Altuve is attracting some attention. Segura went to second behind him there. So the Astros can put their legs to work for them. Milwaukee has now allowed 91 steals this year. That's a strike call. 1 and 2.
Good job there by Segura and Estrada. One extra look, and Segura deking in behind Altuve. Had him heading back to the base as Segura delivered that pitch. Difficult to steal third base with a left-handed hitter up. The catcher's got a clean look and making that throw to third base. But taking a pretty aggressive lead.
That's a liner to right field. Altuve to third base. Aoki juggles the ball. He's coming home. Here's the throw. Cut off. And it's 3-2. Aoki juggled it, and then Altuve just turned on the speed again to score the go-ahead run.
The outfielder's been shaky for the Brewers in this series. Last night, Gomez made a big misplay in the Astros' 9th, and now Aoki in his haste off the heel of his glove, hand, heel, chest, chin. Altuve was content to shut her down at third base, but with a bobble, he sprints home.
No RBI. It's a hit for Wallace and an error on Aoki, his second error of the year. And it's 3-2 Astros. With Steve Pearce following. Pearce drove in 2 with a single. He gets a hook for strike 1. Pearce has been a pretty good looking hitter in a Houston uniform. For his first few games coming into tonight, he had an OPS of .854. In the dirt for ball 1. Estrada shooting for win number 1. Despite a respectable ERA of 4.13, he's 0-5. He's allowed 16 homers in 83 innings.
That's a big number.
The appeal goes to first. It's a swing. Call there by Dave Rackley, who just joined this umpiring crew after last night.
Looked like he was able to check.
Marco Estrada got a chance to join this starting rotation with the injury to Chris Narveson. He missed a month himself with a right thigh strain. That's hit to left center field. Drawn back toward the bullpen, and that kicks back toward the infield. Here's Wallace coming around third to the plate. Gomez's throw goes to third. That's offline, and it's 4-2 Houston. RBI triple by Pearce. So Pearce now has driven in 3.
Both Braun and Gomez pursue that ball all the way to the wall, and there's nobody there to handle the carom. Pearce puts a real nice swing on this one, misses a home run by just a few feet. Gomez has a cannon. He's a little bit offline and a little bit late. And the Astros threatening to really do a lot of damage. Brad Mills wants to come out and check to see if maybe this ball was a home run.
Going out to the second base umpire there, Scott Berry, who had the best look at it. And he's referring him to the third base umpire, Jerry Meals.
It must be Jerry had the call and Berry had the base runner. Ooh, it was higher up than I initially thought. Oh, there it is. Yeah. That's good.
It's the 4th major league triple for Steve Pearce. His first as an Astro.
Play on, boys. Play on.
Yeah, the umpires do not have to review the call if they are asked to review it.
And that may be what Mills is asking. Hey, what degree of certainty do you have that that ball was not a home run? And if Jerry were to say, I'm absolutely positive, Millsy, I saw it real cleanly. No way to leave the park. Gary Darling, the crew chief, wants to get his 2 cents in.
That's 7 hits for the Astros. Big night already for Pearce with 2 and Altuve with 2. Pearce has driven in 3. Altuve has scored 2. Now the infield comes in for Scott Moore. He hit a fly ball to right in the first.
This keeps up, and Carl's going to be packing these unis for the road trip.
Try to wear these on the road. That could get interesting.
I'd be wearing them on the airplane.
This one is shallow right field. Aoki has a long way to come with the infield in. He's getting there, weaving his way in, and Pearce was playing it about a third of the way toward the plate. 2 outs. He just kept running. The infielders were just turning and looking at him because they started in tight. So Pearce thought it might drop. He had to play it as if it might.
Maybe the longest in I've ever seen an outfielder come for a ball.
Really? Yeah. That's right. Just had to keep on coming. 2 outs now, and it's Bogusevic. Bogusevic chased Aoki back for his drive to the warning track in the first inning. Strike. They're delayed in Baltimore with Kansas City and the Orioles by rain. Big 2-home run game last night for 20-year-old Manny Machado of the Orioles. 1-1. Boog Powell had one of those when he was 20.
Was that his first game?
That was
Machado?
His second game. Yeah. 2 balls and a strike. San Diego leads 2-0 at Pittsburgh. They've played 3 with A.J. Burnett on the losing end. See who's pitching for the Padres. Pirates don't have a hit. Roll to shortstop. Segura on over to Hart. And the Astros come up with 2 in the third to break the tie. On 3 hits with an error and a man left. They lead it 4-2 after 3. Astros lead at 4-2. We go to the 4th inning. We're joined by Andrea Andrus, who has not been with the Astros very long, but already very busy, making an impact. You moved here from Florida.
Yes.
Welcome to the organization.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And now you're right in the midst of this Radio Apprentice contest. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's really an initiative, another fan engagement initiative here that our new ownership has really made an important part of the year of this season. And so this is really an opportunity for fans to get involved, to decide who's going to really be our radio apprentice for the 2013 season. So in addition to participating as a contestant, they can also participate by voting, and they can do that just at astros.com.
All right, now you're bringing something like 300 applicants in here for auditions on Monday?
Yes, we have over 300 contestants coming here to Minute Maid Park on Monday, and they're from actually 17 different states. So it's pretty impressive numbers. We're happy with them.
That is absolutely crazy.
So what does the audition entail? What are they going to do?
Well, we're not letting them know everything about it because, as you know, you don't know exactly what's going to happen. You know, what a fan might say when you're interviewing them or what a player might throw out there. So we want them to have a little bit of on-the-spot thinking, and so we're not being too specific.
So the audition will be something along those lines, or it'll deal with a player interview or a simulated interview or something to that effect, possibly.
Possibly.
Okay, so you're bringing them all in Monday, and you're going to judge them and narrow that down to how many? 10 people?
Yes, we're going to go from over 300, just right over 300, down to 10 contestants. So our judges have their work cut out for them.
Boy, they really do. Patty Smith is one of those judges. There's a strikeout of Brian Braun. So you're good luck already with the strikeout of Braun, Andrea.
I'll have to stay here then.
Yes. We're trying to keep things the same. The uniforms, all conditions the same, with things going well. So
That's
Patty
right.
says Patty is figuring on being in for a long day Monday. Would you plan on that?
Yes, definitely. We'll start at 9:30 in the morning with the actual auditions, but Patty and the rest of the judges will be here with us, probably from at least 8:30 on Monday morning preparing, and we'll be there, I'm sure, until at least 8:30 that night.
Miscommunication here.
Still
Corcoran
got him.
throwing, yes, from his knees. He makes the throw to Scott Moore. Who's got it?
Well, there's a
Corcoran.
whole lot of bad going on there, including Aramis Ramirez not going hard down the line. Keuchel and Corcoran, they can laugh about it now. There's been some funky balls in this game.
Yeah.
Here's the old drive-by by Keuchel. Ramirez just disgusted with his swing, so he's trotting down the line. He's, wait a minute, they haven't thrown me out yet. I better go hard. And
Oh, well, it's out number 2. And now Hart comes up. He reached on the error earlier. So you get it down to 10. And then they come in for the Arizona series next weekend, and you put them to work doing interviews with players, right?
Yes, they'll actually be here to conduct interviews after batting practice. So 10 interviews. We'll probably have about 2 or 3 players that do that. Try to keep it as fair as possible. And, yeah, we definitely want our fans to come out and see these contestants after batting practice doing the interviews. It'll be their first opportunity to see them in person, and that'll be this upcoming Friday and Saturday night during the Diamondback series.
Very good.
so I'm guessing then that the interviews will be played up there on the big screen. Is that the idea?
Yes. You are correct.
Are they going to be on the website as well at Astros.com?
Yes, they can go right to our website. We'll have the audio on there. It's not going to be video, it's audio because this is a radio contest. And we'll have a picture of the contestant next to them, picture, name, and then the audio. And they'll actually be able to pick their top 4 contestants. They'd like to go on to the 3rd round, and that'll be top 4 out of 10 contestants.
Nice. So that's Astros.com for anybody who wants to vote. And of course, this person will be working every home game next year, right?
Yes, that's correct. So they need to be prepared for long days, just like the rest of us are.
And now the applicants already are closed. They've already applied for this, and the date has come and gone. So you can't get in on this contest now if you haven't done so already. But still, it's going to be fun for those who want to see who wins it. So thanks so much for joining us, Sandra. And that's Astros.com for those who want to follow this contest.
That's right. You can still participate by voting. So thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Astros lead it 4-2.
But Jack in the Box, get the All-American Jack combo for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. by the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon, and by Coushatta Casino Resort, the largest, most exciting casino resort in Louisiana.
4-2 Astros. First pitch is strike one there as Martinez swings over the top of that curveball from Estrada. He singled to right field in the second inning and was thrown out trying to steal. Astros have 7 hits. The Brewers have 1. Fastball ties him up, and it's right to the folks below us here in the club level. A little excitement.
Yeah. Careful now. That ball had some steam on it.
They found that out. No balls, 2 strikes. And a curveball works for strike 3 for Estrada. It's his second strikeout.
Yeah, when we saw Estrada in Milwaukee, it was a very good curveball changeup that really worked well for him. Both of those secondary pitches. A good swing and a miss there from Martinez, but the Astros have been pretty well dialed in on him so far tonight.
Carlos Corporon battled him to a 3-2 count, hit a fly ball to center field. He's been involved in a couple of wacky plays last night and tonight. The little Ramirez roller in the top of this inning. Then last night that Niger Morgan, that strikeout and wild pitch when the ball hit his foot and then caromed around. Strike 1 to Carlos. 55 pitches for Estrada. Giovanni Gallardo goes tomorrow, and he has been a death trap to the Astros.
Was he 11-2 or something like that against the Astros?
I think he's won 9 straight. Let's see, he's won his last 9 starts against the Astros with a 2.68 ERA. Last pitcher to win 9 or more straight starts against an opponent, Roy Halladay, against Washington, Montreal and Washington. He won 10 in a row from 04 through 11. 2 balls and a strike.
So the Yankees put Sabathia on the DL.
Ooh, didn't know that. Yeah. What's the injury, JD?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll find out, though.
Keuchel's on deck. And Pettit apparently is delayed in his return from his injury.
Elbow for Sabathia.
Uh-oh. 2-2. I don't think he's had any elbow issues in his career, if memory serves. He's been a very healthy pitcher over the years.
I believe they've signed Derek Lowe.
Okay. Yeah, he was released by Cleveland. 3-2 now. Phillies lead St. Louis 1-0. They're in the bottom of the 4th at Philadelphia. Jake Westbrook on the losing end of that one. Phillies won last night. Carlos Beltran thrown out stealing for the final out. It was actually Jonathan Papelbon stepped back off the rubber and caught him when he broke too soon. And David Freese was at the plate when the game ended. Hit out to second base. Whoa, that was hit hard, but Weeks, standing his ground, reached over to his right and snagged it for out number 2. Corporon took a swing at a low pitch, and it stayed low all the way over to Weeks. He dropped the head on that and had something on that swing.
Yeah, the ball was going to be in the dirt if he didn't hit it, and he hit it hard.
Two down, and it's Keuchel batting. He struck out in the second. Strike 1.
Reds scored 3 in the 8th to beat the Cubs 4-2. So after losing 5 in a row, the Reds have bounced back to win 2 from Chicago. Arroyo beat Russell. Chapman got his 27th save.
Dale Swaim was upset after the Cubs made 5 errors in that loss yesterday. Really upset. His shortstop was one target of his rage. 1-2. Starlin Castro pulled a base running no. He was deked at second base by Brandon Phillips, and he fell for it, and he got thrown out.
Well, he's trying to steal down 4 or 5 runs too, and See, and I get the frustration with the manager and the player, and that happened with Quaddy there. Castro's just he's not a very instinctive player. So I think you have to realize that and put a sign on, don't go.
Yeah. After 4, it's 4-2 Astros.
The Astros tomorrow afternoon in the series finale against these Brewers, coming off of a very good performance Tuesday. He went 7 innings, allowed just 2 runs on 3 hits in a game that the Astros ended up losing in extra innings. On balance, Lyles has pitched better than his 2-8 record would indicate, but tomorrow he's going up against Yolani Gallardo, who always seems to bring his A game against the Stros. 1 o'clock game, Astros live on the air at 12:30. After Mazda game break, let's go back to the booth. Brownie and JD.
Thank you, Bart. There's the scene on a Saturday night at Minute Maid Park. The Astros lead at 4-2. They are trying to win a series at home, or they are 26-31, and they can clinch that with a win tonight. It's Weeks leading it off, and Keuchel now has retired 9 in a row. He got Weeks to begin that string in the 2nd inning on a ground ball to shortstop. He rips this one right at Brett Wallace. 1 pitch, 1 out for Keuchel. Keuchel's 2 runs allowed in the 2nd, both unearned because of the error on Wallace.
And Wallace gets another chance, and he handles this one without a problem. He made that throwing error back in the 2nd on a ground ball by Corey Hart. This time he really gets through that throw, throws a strike over there to Scott Moore.
Jonathan Lucroy hit the sacrifice fly to center field in the 2nd inning. That one tied at 2-2. His 34th RBI of the year. Taking all the way, he looks at strike 1. Matt Cain and the Giants beat the Rockies today 9-3. Cain going to 11-5 with a 2.99 ERA. Beat Drew Pomeranz. Pomeranz is 1-7 with a 5.04. Buster Posey hit another homer, his 19th. No balls, 2 strikes.
Buster's been on quite a roll. In the high 400s since the All-Star break.
Wow. Dodgers and Giants began the day tied for the lead. Levon Hernandez warming up right now. And the Dodgers are currently up 1-0 in Miami in the 4th. 1-2. And then Arizona began the day 4 behind the co-leaders, Dodgers and Giants, a very tightly packed NL West. With their win, the Giants are 10 games over 500. Punched over first base and up the right field line, just fair. Lucroy heading for 2nd, and he's in with a 1-out double. Took about a half swing, and he wound up with his 12th double of the year.
Ball's about a foot outside.
Yep.
He was bound and determined to hit it. Just inside the line. Michael's yelling at that thing. Slice, yep. Fade, slice, cut, do something. He's got Segura pitcher spot due next, but with Livan Hernandez warming up, Ron Renicky looks like he may be prepared to pinch hit for Estrada.
That's strike one to Segura. Grounded back to the pitcher earlier. Segura had a brief stint with the Angels earlier this season. And he picked up for Cesar Izturis on the Milwaukee roster spot. Izturis was claimed off waivers by Washington and joined the Nationals when they were here a few days ago. It's 1-1. Segura started the year at AA Arkansas. He hit .294 there with 7 homers, 40 runs batted in, and 33 steals. Then he went up to the Angels the third week in July. In his debut July 24th against Kansas City. Played 1 game with the Angels and back down to AA. He was a Texas League All-Star and played in the Futures game this year. It's 2-1. Bronson Arroyo won that game for Cincinnati 4-2 with 3 in the 8th at Chicago, beating James Russell. And Aroldis Chapman got his 27th save. You know, we were talking about Cy Young candidates. He might need to be in that conversation. Maybe not in a strong way. His numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah, man, certainly. Just as he's been so impressive with the strikeout rate.
Lucroy at second with a 2-1 count on Segura.
I don't know that I could ever vote for a reliever for that award.
It's
if
tough.
I had a vote.
It's tough. Yeah, you figure there are going to be several 20-game winners probably in the National League. Well, probably at least 3 or 4 on the present pace, and it's just tough to.
And for me, I don't even worry about the wins so much. I just think that closers pitch so few innings.
Right.
I just don't know that they have a value, as much value as a frontline starting pitcher.
Well, Ron Renicky might put a high value on a closer this year himself. With all the blown saves, they've had 22 blown saves in Milwaukee this year. Little tap, and the shortstop Tyler Green comes in, throws on the run, didn't get him. Segura, who runs well, beats it out for an infield hit, and it's first and third and 1 out.
And Estrada had been out there in the on-deck circle, but he's been called back. Opportunity for the Brewers to score, and they're going to go for it. A little slow roller to Green. He did all he could do. Not even close at first base with Segura busting it down the line. Cody Ransom will be the hitter.
He can bring some power into the batter's box. Cody, a .214 hitter with 9 homers, 37 runs batted in, and 196 at bats. With Milwaukee, he's hit .194 and 144 at bats. As a pinch hitter, he is 4 for 9 with 3 runs batted in this year. Cody, a former Astro, claimed off waivers from Arizona by Milwaukee on the 23rd of May. Cody's 36 years old. He's from Mesa, Arizona. Went to Grand Canyon University.
No real significant difference in his splits in terms of the batting average or the home runs versus right or left.
He hit a homer against the Astros at Milwaukee on that last road trip, July 30th, off Xavier Cedeno. And there's strike 1 to him. Marco Estrada leaves the game after 4 innings, allowing 7 hits and 4 runs with no walks, 3 strikeouts. Ransom hit his first career grand slam with 2 outs in the 8th to break a 6-6 tie against Atlanta this year. It's 1-1. Make that Pittsburgh this year and a 10-7 win for Milwaukee. Cody was drafted by the Giants in '98 in the 9th round. Played for the Astros in '07, 35 at bats. Segura has been a base stealer in the minor leagues. Swing and a miss there makes it 1-2 to Cody Ransom.
Segura not getting a good read, at least on that pitch, on Dallas Keuchel. He was headed back to the base as the pitch was being delivered.
Brewers have been a streaky team lately. They just swept Cincinnati at home in a 3-game series. There you see the double play numbers on Cody Ransom. Prior to that, they were swept in a 3-game set at St. Louis. Prior to that, they swept the Astros at home. In the dirt.
That's that whole home road thing. They've been pretty darn good in Milwaukee. 7 games better than 500, but 18-34 on the road. Only the Cubs and the Astros have fewer road wins than the Brewers do.
The Brewers' last road win was here July 8th. Since then, they were swept at Cincinnati, swept at Philadelphia, swept at St. Louis. Lost last night for 10 straight road losses.
They should wear their black and white uniforms. They need to shake it up a little bit.
You might be onto something there. He swung the bat and struck out. That's out number 2. 6 strikeouts for Keuchel.
Big punch out here for Keuchel. A little slider, cut fastball. Running towards that inside corner. Check swing from Ransom. He went too far, and a big out recorded with a man on third base. That's a big punch out.
It really is.
And all of a sudden, the strikeouts coming for Keuchel. He only had 16 in 45 innings coming into this game.
Well, this is his high as a major leaguer for strikeouts in a game. Previous high was 3. Aoki is 0 for 2. Little humpback liner to short and a grounder to first for Aoki. Wallace even with a bag at third. Aoki takes. There's strike 1 for Keuchel. Dallas is making that walk to strikeout ratio look a whole lot better in this game. It was 26-16 when he took the mound tonight. He has no walks and 6 strikeouts.
I suspect Segura is going to run here pretty soon.
That's smoke to the gap in left center field. In for a hit. Now Segura might be able to score the tying run. Yes, he will easily. He's turning third and coming to the plate without a throw. And it's 4-4. Aoki plates 2 with a double. That gives him 27 runs batted in. It's his 20th double of the year. And that gets the starting pitcher Estrada off the hook.
Taking that same off-field approach he showed in his first at bat. This time, though, instead of just flipping it off the end of the bat, he drives the ball into the alley in left center. And I thought Segura would be running, but I was thinking more in terms of trying to steal a base as opposed to coming all the way around to scoring on this double by Segura. Big 2-out knock by Aoki.
Yeah, that strikeout on Ransom looked like it might be the big out of the inning, but Aoki got the 2-out double. The 22 base hits for him, 4 runs on 4 hits for the Brewers. Now they look for the lead with Gomez batting. He has struck out twice.
Swinging wildly at a changeup his first at bat, and then he got caught looking at a fastball on the inner half down around the knees last time. A couple weeks ago, he was the National League Player of the Week, driving in 10 of his 30 runs for the year in 1 week. He's that kind of guy. He's really talented. Gets on a roll. He can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, streaky pretty well defines him. 2 balls, no strikes. That one's out to center field. Bogusevic with the catch of the liner. In the 5th inning, the Brewers tied with 2 runs on 3 hits. They strand a man. They make it a 4-4 game after 4.5.
Home game is an Astros Family Sunday presented by Minute Maid and Kroger. The next Family Sunday is tomorrow, August 12th. The Astros will host the Brewers at 105. Fans can enjoy the Kids Fun Zone before the game. Kids run the bases after the game. Tickets at Astros.com. Top of the Astros batting order. They provided most of the hits and all the runs. Facing a new pitcher, Brownie.
Yeah, they certainly are. Former Astro Livan Hernandez, as far as spring training Astros go anyway. He's 3-1 with a 5.21 ERA, JD.
Well, Livan, the KG veteran, is going to throw fastball about 82 to 86 miles an hour. Big slow hook, change up. They'll change arm angles on you. Got to be patient. Force him into the zone.
First pitch is ball 1 to Tyler Green, who opened the Astros first with a double and scored. Then in the 3rd inning, he lined to right. Gets a foul ball there, and it's 1-1 to Tyler. Estrada in 4 innings, allowing 7 hits, 4 runs, with no walks, 3 strikeouts, turning it over to the 37-year-old Cuban, who got a win against the Astros in relief July 30th in Milwaukee, despite giving up 3 runs in 1 1/3 innings. That's out to left center field. Gomez speeding now, going back for it, and that one smacks off the wall, kicks back toward. That could be a home run for Tyler Green, and it is. He hit it above the yellow line. Number 5 for Tyler Green, and the Astros grab the lead again at 5-4. Well, the way Gomez went after that ball, he started toward left center, and then he veered straight back, and Tyler Green really powered it.
Tyler Green is making a very nice first impression. The base running last night, and now double line out home run so far today. Couple feet to the left, and it's a double. Well placed.
Jose Altuve's next. He's 2 for 2. There's ball 1. Well, Greg had it right when he talked about the hits at the top of the order. Green has 2, Altuve 2. Steve Pearce, the cleanup man, with 4. Wallace has 1. This one shoots to right field. Aoki checking the wall. He has room on the track. 1 down for Hernandez.
Astros spoiling an anniversary of sorts for Livan. This is the anniversary of his first major league home run back in 2001. A very good athlete, been a good hitter over the years. He was 4 for 4 that day, part of a streak in which he went 12 for 13 at the plate.
One out, and it's Brett Wallace. Wallace singled to right and came around to score on the triple by Pierce. He's 1 for 2. We just got a release about front office move. There's ball 1. The Astros have named Mike Elias as scouting director and will not renew the contract of Bobby Heck. Slow breaking ball makes it 1-1. Elias has been in the front office. He's 29. And he will oversee amateur scouting in the draft.
29 years old. How about that?
Yeah. He had been with the Cardinals. Jeff Luhnow was there. Fly ball to center. Gomez backing on it. Well, everything's been in the air here off Levon.
Yeah. It's always on the edge of your seat if you're in that Brewer dugout and Levon's out there. Again, his stuff is just, he's a great competitor. He knows how to pitch. His stuff is just short. So if hitters are patient and wait, they're usually going to get something they can put a swing on.
Now Steve Pierce. He drove in 2 with a single in the first inning and then ripped an RBI triple in the third. Taking that one for strike 1 from Levon Hernandez. It's 0-2. Levon last pitch Saturday at St. Louis, 2 innings, giving up 2 hits and a run. Allowed a solo homer to John Jay in that one. 1-2. He's part of a Brewer bullpen with 17 wins, 27 losses, and a 4.92 ERA. He was signed as a free agent on the 22nd of June. Had been with Atlanta and in spring training with the Astros this year. 2-2. Prior to this year, he had made all but one of his 475 career appearances as a starter. In 12 relief appearances with the Brewers, he's 2-0 with a 5.71 ERA. Breaks that one in the dirt, and it's a full count to Steve Pierce. Scott Moore on deck. It's Cleveland 4, Boston 2. They've played 7 in Cleveland. Still a rain delay in Baltimore. The game has not started. Rolled out to first. Here's Hart. Nope. Hernandez didn't get there, and that's going to be an infield hit for Pierce. He's 3 for 3 in this game.
Boy, the Brewers are playing a bad ball game. They've been sloppy in the field. Levon maybe hurt a little bit. He got a late break on that ball, perhaps assuming it'd be a 4-3 play. You see Hart ranging far to his right, but has no play.
Now, Levon was grimacing a little bit. Now he's going to get a visit from a trainer. And he looked like maybe his leg was bothering him, a groin or something like that, but looks like he wants to stay in. Now Renicky comes out. Pierce has tied his career high with 3 hits in this game. He had a 3-hit game May 25th in 2011 against Milwaukee. 286 lifetime hitter against the Brewers coming into this game tonight. Now Levon stays in to face Scott Moore, who twice has flied to right.
This game has the feel and the intensity of a spring training game. That's the way it's being played. Maybe when we get into the later innings, if it's still tight, change a little bit.
Last night had that exciting feel at the end. The Astros came from behind to win it in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2. A slicing foul ball. Oh, good catch by a fan with a glove there. Very nice.
Way to go, Dad.
He came prepared.
Well,
Must have known where his seats were when he came in the ballpark with that glove. Now it's 2 balls and a strike to Moore. This is Livan Hernandez's 9th major league team. He started with Florida, then he was a Giant. He was with Montreal, Washington, Arizona, Minnesota, Colorado, the Mets, Braves, and Milwaukee. It's popped up. Segura coming in. Third baseman Ramirez gets there first. In the 5th inning, the Astros snap the tie with a green long ball. Might not be easy being green, but a lot of folks would like to be Tyler Green with a swing like that. And great results tonight. 5-4 Houston.
All right.
Who's doing the game today? Dale and who else?
And welcome back to Minute Maid Park. 5-4 Houston over Milwaukee. Time now to introduce you to our progressive fan of the game. And actually, I got a whole group of guys, the 1962 Carl Young Pony League champs. They went to the World Series, won it. They were all honored down here on the field in a pregame ceremony. 15 of them out here, which was incredible. 50 years later, I've got a representative right here, Larry Hardy, who also played for the Astros back in the day. But Larry, tell us a little bit about your group and how special this is for you guys.
Well, for me, it's really special because there's a whole bunch of them I haven't seen since 1962. And to be able to get all of us except for 2 players that couldn't show up and one that passed away, it's really been a neat 2 days.
When you guys won the World Series back then, you were brought out as the Colt 45s, honored then. Now, 50 years later, pretty amazing feat. And as you mentioned, that number to have all of you guys together back here again.
Yeah, it was, for me, it wasn't as big of a deal because I was lucky enough to play in a big league, so I've been on a big league field. But for some of them and their families, it was a pretty neat experience to be able to come out here before the game.
Now, you've done it at all different levels. Like you said, you played for the Astros in 1976. But talk about those early days, that Pony League World Series. What stood out for you?
Well, like any time when you have a good team, it's the guys you play with. And we won 19 games and lost 1. We're undefeated in Washington the year we won it. And we had some tough games, but, we managed to play well enough the whole way to do it.
You've obviously been in baseball a long time, played, coached with the Texas Rangers. Just give us a little synopsis on what you see with this team right here.
Well, for me, it's a little bit like what the Rangers went through. My last year is 2001 to finally in 2010 getting to the World Series. Major League Baseball is a process. And number one, you have to have a group of kids that are capable of playing. And then you have to be smart enough as an organization to keep the right ones and hopefully get them to a point that, they play well enough together that they, get back to where they want to go.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure seeing all of you. You are progressive fans of the game. I'm going to give you that. I know that's the biggest honor all night long.
Man, thanks.
All right, guys.
Larry Hardy, we get to see him in Arlington when we go up for Rangers-Astros games. Braun got an infield hit on the bouncer to Brad Wallace. Now a strike to Aramis Ramirez, who's 1 for 2. Wallace with that throw did not pull more off the bag, but it was just a little bit late. He didn't mishandle the ball, so Braun was credited with a single.
Yeah, and again, that's part of the process for Wallace over at third base, just getting used to, you know, more action over there and the timing and when you have to really rush, when you could take a little bit of extra time. That was a ball where if he had to do it all over again, he would have tried to unload a little bit more quickly. And I imagine right now his philosophy is just, you know, try to make the play, just safety first until you get comfortable, and then maybe play things a little bit more aggressively. Fox Tracks is brought to you by TxDOT. Drink, drive, go to jail.
Right-hander Chucky Fick warming up for Houston. Left-hander Manny Parra is seeing action in the Milwaukee bullpen right now. Astros about hit the Brewers 9-5, each club with one error. That's hit in the air to shallow left. Adam Martinez coming in. One out for Keuchel. And Corey Hart will be next. Hart is 0 for 2. He reached on an error in the second inning and came around to score.
A couple of starts ago in Milwaukee, the Brewers got the best of Dallas Keuchel. He allowed 7 runs in 4 innings on 7 hits, and if memory serves me, he walked quite a few in that game as well. Tonight, 5 hits, just 2 of the 4 runs he's allowed have been earned.
Yeah, he walked 6 in that game in 4 innings. Altuve plays up the middle here with a runner at first and hard batting. He's not overshifted the way he does with nobody on base. Little chop. Keuchel gets it to Altuve. Altuve on the board. Double play. It's no runs a hit, nobody left. The Astros get their 88th double play to finish the top of the 6th inning with Houston up. Took only 8 pitches for Keuchel. He has a 5-4 lead.
Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Hyundai. If it's stylish, intelligent, safe, and affordable, it's probably a Hyundai. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Mattress Firm, save money, sleep happy. By the way, there are big sales going on out there in the shed, so if you're in the ballpark tomorrow, take advantage of some of them. The Astros lead at 5-4, bottom of the 6th. New pitcher for the Brewers. Here's Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Back to school sale right there. That's what Greg's talking about. They were selling some dry fit shirts last night for unbelievable prices on the concourse. Manny Parra with a 1-3 record, a 4.70 ERA, is pitcher number 3 of the night for Milwaukee.
Parra, kind of a curious case. A couple of years ago with the Brewers, he looked to be a starting pitcher on the rise. Won 10 games for them in 08, 11 and 11 in 2009, despite a very high ERA, and that's been the issue. Just erratic with the command. Walked too many. Still tremendous strikeout numbers this year. The strikeout rate is way up. Fastball, slider, curveball, change, split finger pitch.
Bogusevic looks at that one, and it's ball one.
Got a little bit better than average fastball, at least in terms of velocity.
Breaker makes it a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Maybe one of those guys that just needs a change of scenery.
Parra's pitching for the first time for the Brewers since July 24th at Philadelphia, when he gave up 4 earned runs in 1/3 of an inning, gave up a 2-run homer to Eric Kratz. Bogey fouls it back for a 1-2 count. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Livan Hernandez in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, 1 run with no walks, no strikeouts. He might have been injured on that infield hit by Pierce, but he did stay in to get more for the final out. Now Cameron Lowe's at work. No activity currently for the Astros. Bogusevic swings and misses. It pops out of Lucroy's mitt, but he throws to first to complete the strikeout for out number 1. That's the 4th strikeout for Brewer pitching tonight. Fernando Martinez next. He's 1 for 2. The pitcher spot could come up here, so Chucky Fick has begun to throw again now for Houston. Dallas Keuchel has given the Astros 6 innings of work. Got the double play ball to end the 6th inning, hit by Corey Hart. Martinez singled to right in the 2nd. He struck out in the 4th. This one goes to Ricky Weeks on 2 bounces. 2 down. Parra's the lone lefty in the Brewer pen. Cameron Lowe continues to work. Pitcher spot could come up in the Milwaukee 7th as well. They'll need a base runner for that to happen. And Chucky Fick is at work there with Carlos Corpora, the switch hitter, turning around to bat right now against Parra. Corp is 0 for 2 tonight. He's seen a lot of pitches. He's worked the count full both times. Carlos is 3 for 9 as a right-handed batter. Parra throws ball 1 to him. We don't see anybody in the on-deck circle right now, with Keuchel due up next. Now Justin Maxwell's going to come out to the circle. Bouncer third. Foul for Ramos Ramirez. 1-1. Ivan Nova and the Yankees won 5-2 at Toronto this afternoon. Nova going to 11-6. He beat Aaron Laffey, who's 3-3. Rafael Soriano picked up his 28th save. Casey McGee hit his 9th home run for the Yanks. Yankees go to 21 games over 500, 67-46. They brought a 5.5 game lead over Baltimore into play today. To right field, Aoki backs. Parra has a 1-2-3 6th, and it's 5-4 Astros. on this double play. There's a reach. He sets up. Perfect feed to Altuve. 1-4-3 double play to end the 6th inning.
Classic case of first guy short, second man quick. Keuchel taking an extra second there to gather himself, make sure he make an accurate feed to second base. He did that, and Altuve took care of the rest and made it awfully close there at first base. But you'd prefer that than have your pitcher be in such a hurry that he ends up making an errant throw to second base.
Keuchel finished for the night with 6 innings of work, allowing 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, no walks, 6 strikeouts.
Very solid effort for Dallas tonight, and now it falls to the bullpen to protect this 1-run lead. Chucky Fick, first man out of the chute tonight. 0-1 with a 5.19 ERA in 7 appearances. 2 with the Cardinals, 5 since joining the Astros. Got right-handed batters up in Weeks, LaCroix, and Segura to start the Brewers 7th. 6, 7, 8 in the batting order.
Weeks 0 for 2. 2 groundouts for Ricky. Wallace is playing him just a step behind the bag.
Chucky's going to try to get these hitters to beat that sinking fastball into the ground.
Keuchel threw 77 pitches. He rolls off his foot out toward shortstop. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Weeks. Went to Southern University. Keuchel came into this game with an ERA at home of 3.33 in 4 starts. Looks like Dallas is beginning to like Houston.
Contrary to reports.
Fouled away, and it's 1-2.
You know any kids, anybody named Galveston?
No.
There's a lot of Austins, a lot of Dallases.
Yeah, plenty of those.
Some Houstons.
This Milwaukee lineup can pound some ERAs, but Dallas kept the Brewers in check. 17,942 here to see it.
Dallas looks like he hardly even worked. Looked very comfortable in there.
Yeah.
He didn't even break a sweat tonight.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He looks like he's been working in the library all day. Chucky Fick came from St. Louis, trying to extinguish this Milwaukee 7th inning here in quick fashion. Gets a chopper there. He worked Thursday night in the 5-0 loss to Washington. He needed only 4 pitches. Came in with the bases loaded, allowing one of those runners to score, but did not give up a hit or a run himself.
I don't know if that woman was afraid of the ball or if she was embarrassed that her husband was laying out over the railing for that foul ball.
Oh, Weeks really chasing one there. Sidearm breaking pitch for a strikeout to open the 7th.
Sweeping slider here from Chucky Fick. Weeks very wobbly with that front side.
Jonathan Lucroy delivered a sac fly in the 2nd and a double in the 5th. Chucky Fick, 26 years old, was born in Thousand Oaks, California, went to Cal State Northridge and Fresno State. Came right after him, but missing in apparently there. Ball 1 to Lucroy. Chucky was claimed on waivers the 27th of July. It's 2 balls, no strikes. He had been a 15th round pick of the Cardinals in 07. Pitched to AAA Memphis last year, where he had an ERA of 2.30. Now 2-1 to Lucroy. Chucky had a 3-inning relief stint in Milwaukee July 31st, gave up 1 run. A couple of inherited runners scored on a 3-run homer by Corey Hart. Gets that one in for strike 2, and it's 2-2. San Diego 5, Pittsburgh nothing. No hitter through 6 for Jason Marquis of the Padres. 3-2 now.
Wonder if a player's ever been released by one club and then thrown a no-hitter for another club in the same year.
Boy.
I'm guessing it's happened, but
probably.
I mean, not very often.
Yeah. Unlikely. Swing and a miss and a strikeout.
Good slide ball.
Well, he's found that to be effective here against Weeks and Lucroy.
This one moved closer to the zone, but after doing that good work with the sinker in, he goes back slider away and finishes off Lucroy. Swings and misses from these Brewer hitters tonight, and willingness to go out of the strike zone. They have not been a very disciplined group this evening.
Well, only 3 teams have struck out more in the National League. Segura moves away from that one. It's strike 1 to him. He got an infield hit and scored in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 2. Aaron Hill is homered for Arizona. That's a bullet foul. 3-1 after 2. Arizona leading Washington. Hill hit his 14th. Wade Miley's on the mound for the D-backs against that tough Washington pitching staff. Steven Strasburg got a win last night. It's Edwin Jackson tonight. Punched over the right side of the infield into right field. A hit for Segura. Segura's 2 for 3.
Pretty nice piece of 0-2 hitting there by Segura. Fick goes back to that slider that was effective with Weeks and Lucroy, and again, it's not a bad pitch at all. 0-2 slider down around the knees, maybe a little bit off that corner.
Pinch hitter Travis Ishikawa comes up now for Manny Parra, who in 1 inning allowed no hits, no runs, had no walks, 1 strikeout. More over to talk with Fick. Segura, a base stealer in the minor leagues. On, and Ishikawa, the former Giant, the batter. Ishikawa known as a good fielding first baseman. Now we'll see how he hits as a pinch hitter. He's made 17 starts this year at first base. Well, he's not going to hit against Fick.
Wesley Wright is ready in the pen.
Brad Mills with a 1-run lead. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Will go to his left-hander. Fick got 2 strikeouts before the single to right. Wesley Wright has been very effective here for the last few weeks. Brad's giving him a little more time, waiting for the home plate umpire Gary Darling to arrive as he talks to Fick. Well, maybe he's not going to just buy some time and make a move. Let's see. Yeah, he is. He almost deked us on that one. 5-4 Houston. Back in a moment.
and the Red Sox head to the Bronx to take on the AL East leading Yankees in a showdown between bitter division rivals. Or the surprising Pirates battle the Cardinals in St. Louis. Fox Saturday Baseball telecast presented by Budweiser returns August 18th at 2:30 p.m. Central. Comrades?
Thank you, Patty. Wesley Wright in 56 games is 0-2 with a 3.03 ERA.
Well, Ron Renicky somewhat limited on his bench. He only has 4 bench players carrying an extra relief pitcher out of the Brewers, so hands really tied. He can't counter this move. The only other right-handed bat he has available is Martin Maldonado, his backup catcher. I guess he could use him here, but most managers are reluctant to do that. Ishikawa, their most frequently used pinch hitter. He's 5 out of 28. It's .231 against left-handed pitching.
Right delivers. There's strike one to Ishikawa. Travis had .237 for 93 at bats, .231 against lefties. As a pinch hitter, he's 5 for 28, and he's driven in 5. That one puts him at a 1-1 count. Wesley Wright's had his usual busy week with appearances Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday in the Washington series. He threw 10 pitches Thursday night.
Yeah, rare rough outing for him. He's been so good lately, but in that ball game he faced 3 hitters and gave up 3 hits.
He was charged with 1 run in that one. That's the 1 run he has allowed in his last 13 appearances, and 11 2/3 innings. Steps back off the rubber. Over the last 2 years, left-handed hitters are hitting only .164 off Wesley Wright. That's ball 2, and it's 2-2 to Ishikawa.
Couldn't have missed by much. Taking a shot at that outside corner, just a little bit off the edge. Good eye by Ishikawa.
Ishikawa, 28 years old. He's from Seattle, Washington. Bouncer. Brett Wallace lays out for it, gets the ball, throws to first. Not in time. Ball rolled away from him a little bit. By the time he got up and picked it up, Ishikawa was at first ahead of the throw, and it's first and second, 2 outs now on a hit by Ishikawa.
Right before the pitch, Brett shifting a step to the line. Otherwise, that would have been a much easier play for him. Overplayed it a little bit. You can see it hit the heel of his glove as he lunged for it.
Pinch hit for Ishikawa. 2 men on now with 2 outs for Aoki. Another lefty on lefty matchup here for Brad Mills. Aoki ripped the 2-run double to the gap in the 5th inning in left center. He's 1 for 3. So he had that big hit off Keuchel, and he's hit .283 against lefty pitching in 106 at bats this season. Ball 1.
And Martinez shortens up in left field for him. Bogusevic a step or so towards left center, and you could even justify moving Bogey another step or 2 in that direction. You give Aoki a lot of room in right center, but he's not likely to pull right here. Lefty on lefty. Going to be trying to go the other way.
1-1. Wesley Wright has faced the Brewers 6 times this year. He's given up 1 earned run in 2 2/3 innings. Segura, the speedy one at second. Ishikawa at first with 2 outs. Little tap by the mound brings Altuve in. Altuve with the throw, not in time. Another infield hit, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs.
And Dallas Keuchel's down there in that dugout going, are you kidding me?
Yep, he is. You bet he is.
Looking for his second big league win. He's got a 1-run lead. He's had a ground ball to third, now a little ground ball to second. They're both base hits. And the Brewers have the bases loaded.
Right-handed hitting Gomez coming up.
Brad Mills this time is going to make a double switch.
Ben Francisco is coming off the bench, headed to the outfield. Martinez made the second out in the 6th inning. He's going out to play left for Martinez. Francisco will bat 9th, so he'll be leading off the bottom of the 7th inning. And we'll be right back with a score 5-4 Houston.
The playing field Friday, August 17th, as the Astros take on the Diamondbacks for Flashback Friday, presented by Methodist Hospital System. Astros great Brad Ausmus will toss out the ceremonial first pitch, and fans can enjoy Friday night fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. Root now and buy tickets for Flashback Friday at Astros.com. Multiple changes here, Bill.
Yeah, we sure do, comrade. We have Ben Francisco in left field. JD saying yet. And the pitcher is Mickey Story, and it's Story time. He's 0-1 with a 4.5 ERA.
Well, Mickey Story's got a chance to be a hero tonight for Dallas Keuchel and the rest of his comrades. If he can get Carlos Gomez here with the bases loaded and keep this 1-run lead. Dallas Keuchel will be watching this at bat intently, or he'll have his eyes closed. One or the other.
Right, if he can, yeah. Story trying to close the book on the Brewers' 7th inning with Gomez 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a line out to center. And it's ball 1. Segura, Ishikawa, and Aoki, the base runners.
That slider. His slider probably his best pitch. This is a bit of a bind here. You got 2-0, bases loaded. You don't want to walk them. But you have to remember you have a very aggressive hitter up there who's going to be in swing mode because he's trying to be a hero in his own right.
Takes it for a strike. 2-1. Gomez has had 245 at bats this year. He's walked 14 times.
Yeah, he just took 3 in a row. I mean, that's pretty rare for him to take 3 pitches in a row. Swings a bat as much as just about anybody in the National League.
Now 2-2.
Good job getting back in the count.
Ryan Braun on deck.
couple backdoor sliders that missed up and in, then a couple in the zone. Now if he could finish, if he could throw him that slider off the outside edge, that might get the job done. Carlos Corcoran has opinions of his own, and he wants to share them with Mickey Story right now.
Story gave up a homer to Mike Morse Thursday night in the Washington game. Washington handed him a loss Tuesday night in the 12-inning affair. Gave up 1 run in 2 innings. Came up last Friday from Oklahoma City. A week ago yesterday. 3.05 the ERA for the Red Hawks. Strike 3. Oh, Gomez really reacting to the call by Gary Darling to end this bases loaded threat in the 7th inning with no runs, 3 hits. Mickey Story with a big out. Keep the Astros in the lead for Dallas Keuchel 5-4. Here is strike 3 call from Mickey Story. And Gomez reacting angrily to the Gary Darling call and ended the bases loaded threat. He had a lot to say.
He's arguing that that pitch was down. And then the argument continued from the dugout. And Gary Darling heaved his mask while he was trying to eject Gomez from the game.
It got away from him. Uh-oh, that's aggressive behavior there. Jerry Nairn, the bench coach, restraining Gomez, who's been tossed from the game. And Nigel Morgan is now in the game in center field as the Astros come up in the home 7th inning against Cameron Lowe. Lowe will be pitcher number 4. He's a former Texas Ranger with a 4-4 record and a 3.94 ERA.
Getting out of that bases loaded situation seems to have energized his crowd a little bit in the 7th inning stretch. Astros look to play a little add-on now after this lanky right-hander. Good sinker baller. There it is. Sinker ball, curve ball. About 6'8".
267 for Ben Francisco. 2 homers. He's driven in 5. He's had 45 Houston at-bats. Coming in the trade with the Toronto Blue Jays, it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Ben pulled off that one big time. He was looking something middle in. He could yank into the Crawford boxes or beyond.
He smokes this line drive over shortstop into left center field. He'll take a turn. Braun comes up with it, throwing and jamming on the brakes. Here's Francisco back. Gave himself a chance to reach second, but Braun made the play to stop him from doing that.
Nice job. Nice adjustment, too. After pulling off that first sinker, he stayed on that slider nicely.
As we promised earlier in the game, Miller time brought to you by Miller Lite. Tyler Green with a long ball in the 5th inning after he hit a double in the first. First long ball is an Astro, and he is 2 for 3 tonight. Now as he comes up, he's up for the 4th time. And Green has had good swings all night. First start as an Astro. He pinch ran last night and scored a big run after stealing a base in the 9th inning. There's a little lob toss by Cameron Lowe over to first base. Francisco has not attempted a steal with the Astros. For the Blue Jays, he was 0 for 1. Had a leg injury in the American League this year. There's ball 1.
That single by Francisco, the Astros' 10th hit tonight. They have not been in double digits in hits very often lately.
Altuve's on deck.
What Clark you put on there, Brownie?
Not sure. Brewers are wise to some possibility. Zach Greinke was thrown out of that game here. Remember when he spiked the ball? It's the last player to be tossed in an Astros game against the Astros this year anyway. Strike makes it a 1-1 count. So we have seen the tempers flare when the Brewers are in Houston, and they are 2-4 in Houston this season. And they're 18-34 on the road overall. Lowe with another throw over to first. He last pitched Sunday rather at St. Louis, giving up 3 hits and a run in 1 inning. Oakland leads at the White Sox, U.S. Cellular Park, 6-5, bottom of the 6th inning. Kevin Youkilis hit his 14th for the Sox. He's one of those players who's really responded well after being dealt. Pittsburgh broke up the no-hit bid by Jason Marquis, but still is being shut out by Marquis in the bottom of the 8th inning, 5-0. 2 hits for the Pirates. Will Venable hit his 7th home run for the Padres. Green looks at it. It's ball 2.
Well, if the Pirates lose that game, they will fall 4.5 games behind Cincinnati. And the Cardinals are winning their ball game 3-1 over Philadelphia in the late innings. So they would be just a game and a half behind Pittsburgh for 2nd place in the Central, if they hang on.
2-2 to Green. That's Jake Westbrook for St. Louis. Phillies batting against him in the bottom of the 8th inning. Matt Holliday has helped with offensive support with home run number 22 of the year. Cliff Lee started for the Phillies.
Braves all over the Mets tonight. 9-1. They're in the 8th. Chris Medlin, who we saw pitch very well over in Atlanta, 6 1/3 of 1-run baseball tonight. Johan Santana gave it up. 8 earnings in an inning, in 1 inning and a third.
Wow. Green's down on strikes, 1 out.
Nasty movement there from Lowe.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that had the pet boa or
yes.
python or something
Named Angel.
Still have it, you know?
No, he doesn't have that anymore.
What do you do with it?
I'm not sure. Put it up for adoption by boa control or something like that.
Just can't sell those on eBay, can you?
I don't think that's allowed. Jose Altuve is 2 for 3.
Running wild all over Florida. People turn them loose. Their pets, they get too big and they let them go, and they're a menace.
There's strike 1. I can just see it now. You're out in your backyard.
Yeah.
Trying to enjoy a little peace and quiet, and a boa slithers up.
Makes for good television, you know, those snake hunter type shows, roaming around the Everglades. Well, with so much hillbilly hand fishing one man can watch, you got to have a diverse programming options.
The show on TV today about seals. Seals coming up on the beach in Hawaii, and they're doing all this testing on these seals, taking blood samples, and tagging them. They can track them and see how deep they dive, and all that sort of thing. Brad Wallace on deck.
Line drive over the second baseman's head would be just fine here, Jose.
Broken ground roller. Segura comes after it and makes a throw on to first. And Altuve's hands are alive. 2 outs.
Shadubi. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a jart right there, baby.
It is a jart.
And this thing just dug in. Look at the movement from low. It starts on the barrel and just runs in and shatters the bat. And then the barrel flies out and just sticks. Segura looks like he can play a little bit.
Yeah, he does.
He looks very smooth out there.
Sure does. Now Brett Wallace, he singled and scored in the third. So we're arriving at our next movie plot, JD. You're playing jarts in the backyard and a boa constrictor comes along. Did you ever play jarts?
Yes. I love jarts. I was crushed when they outlawed them.
You're probably still playing jarts. In the dirt for ball one. The infield shifts around. Segura up the middle on Wallace.
Put on my jorts and went out and played jarts. Somewhere there's an underground jarts league that still exists.
You know it. Steve Pearce is on deck. He's 3 for 3 in this game, and he's driven in 3 runs. 10 hits for the Astros, 8 for the Brewers.
Some anarchist up in the mountains of Utah not telling me to put away my jarts.
No, gotta come get them. 2-0 to Wallace.
This wouldn't be a bad time for a big swing. Although a little line drive single would get home a very important insurance run.
Lays off ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Cameron Lowe occasionally would bring his pet boa constrictor into the Rangers clubhouse.
Oh my goodness. You know, Rafi Ramirez, when he was here, you know, I know people that are afraid of snakes. A lot of people, and most of us are a little, you know, squeamish around snakes and slithery things. Rafi was just, you know, crazy. I mean, you could just walk up to him and touch him on the back of the neck and make a fake hissing noise, and you wouldn't see him for a week. He'd just go on a dead sprint.
Well, that's the way Javier Bracamonte is. So he's been victimized more than a few times. We get a pinch runner at first base. Marwin Gonzalez for Brett Wallace. Wallace reaching base 2 times in this one. Now the Astros looking for more offense, leading 5-4. Gonzalez getting loose before the pinch running assignment.
I think at this stage of the ball game, you're going to make a move defensively for Wally anyway. So with that in mind, why not upgrade speed too and get Gonzalez in there, get him into the flow of the game. And the downside, of course, is if the Brewers come back and tie this game and you go extra innings, or even in the 8th or 9th, you don't have Wallace's bat in the lineup.
Steve Pearce has had a big night. 3 hits, 3 runs batted in.
But the move for defense is a move just about every manager makes at this stage of the ball game.
Gonzalez, the trailing runner. Francisco's on at second. Cameron Lowe, 30 years old. Pitched in Japan in 2009. And came back to Milwaukee in 2010. Missing there on a close one, and it's 2-0 to Pearce.
That probably got the attention of some of those folks in the Brewer dugout after Gomez was rung up on that borderline low pitch.
Yes. Lowe pitched 72 times last year for Milwaukee. This is his 6th appearance this year against the Astros. Strike. 2-1 to Pierce. Good pitch to take.
Yeah, he thought that one was down. But according to Fox Tracks, it was right there on the knees. And not only down, but because of the sinking action that Lowe gets, very hard to do anything with that pitch but to beat it into the ground.
You bet. Bouncer, Segura. On over to Hart, and it's no runs a hit. 2 men stranded after 7, 5-4 Houston. Live, it's Giovanni Gallardo. He's 10-8 with a 3.79 ERA. It's Jordan Lyles. He's 2-8 with a 5.69, but really threw the ball very well in his last outing. And Giovanni Gallardo has really had the Astros number with 9 wins in his last 9 starts against Houston. That's the matchup tomorrow. Hope you'll watch. Marwin Gonzalez is at third base. He pinch ran for Brett Wallace and takes over at his spot in the number 3 position in the batting order.
Finale of the homestand here tomorrow, and then off to Chicago for 3, and then right back home. Night games Monday, Tuesday, day game Wednesday. A game we are not televising on Wednesday afternoon.
That's right. Ryan Braun is 1 for 3. He got an infield hit in the 6th inning. The hits are in favor of Houston, 10-8, each club with 1 error. Mickey Story got out of that bases loaded spot by striking out Gomez looking in the 7th. There's ball 1. Chucky Fick in 2/3 of an inning allowed 1 hit, no runs with no walks. He struck out 2. Wesley Wright, no innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Braun looks at that one, and it's 2-0.
Braun in his career hitting better than .340 against Astro pitching. Got to make a pitch here.
He didn't, and it's 3-0 to Braun. Braun has 29 homers to lead the league and 19 steals. So 1 more steal gives him the 9th 2020 season in Milwaukee history, and the 3rd for him. 3 balls and a strike now to Braun.
Yeah, when he gets that 30th home run and 20th stolen base, that will be the 3rd time he's reached those milestones in a season.
Swing and a miss there, and 3-2 now to Braun.
Yeah, took a big aggressive hack on 3-1. Slider just curled out away from him a little bit. Good pitch.
Last year, Braun became the first Brewer in the 30-30 club since Tommy Harper, 1970. He had 33 homers and 33 steals. That's strike 3. Story slipped the fastball by him for out number 1.
Boy, good work by Carlos Corporan after all those sliders. Painting with a fastball.
He did.
A little comeback actually over the heart of the plate, but down. And Braun, I think he was just pretty well convinced he was going to see something with some lateral movement there, a little slide piece he was anticipating. And nice job of crossing him up.
Jose Veras is warming up for the Brewers. Ramos Ramirez is 1 for 3.
Oh, what a great job coming back from down 3-0 on Ryan Braun.
Yeah. Ramirez singled and scored in the second inning. Astros led 2-0 after 1. Brewers tied it with 2 in the second. Astros got 2 in the third to go up 4-2. The Brewers tied it again in the fifth with a pair. And the Tyler Green homer in the fifth has given the Astros this lead. Jose Veras is warming up. So Tyler Green now at Minute Maid Park is 6 for 14, 3 homers, 5 runs batted in, 2 doubles, 7 runs scored this season at Minute Maid. Popped up. Tyler Green back. And Gonzalez lets him have it. Shortstop's call. 2 outs. Corey Hart is 0 for 3, but he reached on an error and scored a run in the second inning.
In case you're wondering, June 26th and June 27th, the last time the Astros won consecutive games.
Wow.
That was quite some time ago.
Yes. Infield shifted around for Hart with Weeks on deck. There's strike 1. Well, we're going to be looking up a lot of things because the Astros could be winning a home series, of course, with a win either tonight or tomorrow. 1 ball, 1 strike. Maybe it's the uniforms.
Well, you got to wear them again tomorrow, don't you, if you win tonight?
Absolutely. It's a must. Hart tried to check his swing. Nope, he didn't. That's a swing called by Dave Rackley.
That's got Hart taking his helmet off.
Last time the Astros won a series at home, May 21st through 23rd, they swept the Cubs here. Wow. 2-2.
Yeah, those 2 wins against the Padres back in June I referred to as part of a 4-game series that the Astros split with the Pods. Well, they took 2 out of 3 from Cleveland in June.
Yeah, you're right.
Good Mickey Story.
Mickey Story gets 2 strikeouts in the 8th inning. He struck out 3 of 4, and he keeps the Astros in the lead 5-4.
iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Colleagues?
Thank you, compadre.
1 inning, 1 hit, 1 base
And
on balls.
it's a 1-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Boy, that speaker's loud in there where you are, Patty. It'll be Jose Veras. He's pitcher number 5 going for the Brewers. He's 3-4 with a 4.80 ERA.
Big right-hander who features pretty good fastball and gets decent movement on. Good curveball and a split finger pitch. Control's an issue for him, though. You see he's walked 30 in 45 innings. That doesn't help the cause. So that 4.80 ERA, not his best work.
The Astros have more. Bogusevic and the pitcher spot due up. And Wilton Lopez is warming up for the 9th inning. That's why Mickey Story's performance was so important to get to Lopez. And he retired 4 in a row, coming in with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and fell behind Gomez. Then he wound up getting him looking and struck out Braun looking after falling behind him. What, 3-0?
Yeah, and then you know he's the guy that did the heavy lifting, having to get out of the bases loaded jam. Then the trifecta of Braun, Ramirez, and Hart really paving the way for Lopez to pick up the save in the 9th.
Scott Moore leads it off in the home 8th, 0 for 3. Veras gets strike 1 on that sharp breaking ball. The Astros have seen him on 6 different occasions. They handed him a loss in Milwaukee back in April on the 25th. And he gave up 3 runs in 1 inning 2 days before that in Milwaukee to Houston. No balls, 2 strikes. Veras 31 years old, began his career in the Tampa Bay organization. And he was with the Yankees, Cleveland, Florida, Pittsburgh, and was traded by Pittsburgh over the winter to Milwaukee in December for Casey McGee. Bogusevic on deck. It's 1-2. Veras is from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Wilton Lopez getting loose for the 9th when it'll be Weeks, Lucroy, and Segura due out for Milwaukee. To left field, Braun coming in, Braun sliding and making the grab. 1 out.
Well, Braun, one of the elite hitters in the game, and he's turned himself into a pretty decent outfielder too. He first came up, he was a third baseman, had some struggles there, moved to the outfield, and took him a while to settle in out there as well. But now he's pretty solid out there.
Good catch there for out number 1. Bogusevic is 0 for 3, hit the ball deep to right field in the first inning. Justin Maxwell's on deck. It's in tight for ball 1. We're still waiting in Baltimore for the rain to move out. Kansas City and Baltimore have not been able to start that game. White Sox tied Oakland 6-6 after 6. To left field, that'll hang high. It'll slice away from Braun toward the seats and go out of play. 1-1 to Bogusevic. They're glad they stayed. St. Louis 4, Philadelphia 1, bottom of the 9th. Jason Mott's in the game, facing Ryan Howard right now with nobody out.
It's gone final in Pittsburgh. Padres shut out Pittsburgh 5-0. So the Reds gained that game on the Buccos.
In tight, and almost clipped his jersey. 2 balls and a strike. Atlanta's pounding the Mets 9-3. They're in the top of the 9th at New York. Freddie Freeman hit his 14th homer.
Yeah, I think that may develop into the best race of all of them. That Atlanta-Washington race in the East.
Yeah. Foul back. 2-2. This whole Steven Strasburg thing gets more and more intriguing the deeper we get into the season.
Now reports coming out today that it's not 160 innings the limit they're going to put on him, but 180. It's reported in some places. The Nationals have not confirmed that.
They pulled him after 6 last night with a comfortable lead in Arizona, and he didn't look very happy in the dugout. That's ball 3.
If I were him, I'd rather they approach it that way than just shut him down.
Exactly.
Skip a start here or there, get him out of some starts a little bit earlier, and allow him to stay in the rotation throughout the season and into the postseason, as long as he feels fine. That's how I would play it. I'd be surprised if they change their position on it.
Bogusevic smacks one out of play again. Well, the situation with Jordan Zimmerman has worked so well this year after they shut him down last season. That might be playing on their minds a little bit too. Wow, look at Zimmerman and how well he's done under that program.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy for everybody from the outside to have their opinions, but it's a tough call for Mike Rizzo and the Nationals. I'll say this: even without Strasburg, that's a very good rotation.
True. It's a liner to right. Aoki coming in. Wow, he rolled over and he held on to it. He took a hit away from Bogusevic. That one had some topspin on it, but he got down underneath it for a rolling catch.
Yeah, buzzer's luck for Bogusevic. His first at bat, he hit a deep drive to right field that had topspin that kept it in the ballpark. Aoki caught out in front of the wall. This time he comes in, closes in a hurry on this sinking line drive, and takes away a base hit, perhaps extras for Bogusevic. It's a tough 0 for 4 for Brian tonight.
First Braun with a sliding catch on Moore. Now this one on Bogusevic by Aoki. And we get the pinch hitter Justin Maxwell batting for Story. Story time went very well tonight. 1 1/3 innings. No hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts.
Read me another story, Grandpa. That's a good one.
Couldn't get any better results than that. 248, 12 homers, 37 runs batted in for J-Max. 0 for 1 last night pinch hitting. He's hit well in his last 7 games. 9 for 24, a double, triple, 2 homers, and 5 driven in. 1 ball, 1 strike for the season. He has come off the bench with some thunder. 7 for 27, 3 pinch homers, 8 runs batted in. 3 pinch home runs rank him second in the majors this year. And he's hit 4 in his career. Takes the breaking pitch from Veras for ball 2. Washington just dropped a 5 spot on Arizona in the top of the 5th, still batting with a 6-4 lead. Fastball makes it 2-2. It's Detroit 1, Texas 1. They're in the middle of the 4th with Justin Verlander pitching. Austin Jackson hit his 13th home run for the Tigers. They're still a game behind the White Sox. It's Derek Holland for Texas tonight. Sharp breaking ball, a swing and a miss. Lucroy waits for the first baseman to get there, and Corey Hart almost didn't make it in time. It's a strikeout and a throw out from 2 to 3. And now we move to the 9th with the score 5-4 Astros.
Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. And we will go upstairs to the booth and call on Jim Deshaies as we get set for the top of the ninth.
Yeah, because I'm here to remind you about that brand new show we've been talking about all year long, Chevy Hometown Kids. You know the one, it's the one that's not about the score, it's about the experience. These kids saw it this morning, gave it a ringing endorsement. It's on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Check it out on Fox Sports Houston, or you can visit the website, hometownkids.tv, and you'll get all the information on that one. The kids, they love it.
Wilton Lopez comes out of the bullpen with a 1-run lead. He's 4-1 with 1 save in 2 opportunities and a 2.25 ERA.
It's the scoreless ninth last night. Ground ball, punch out, and he picked up the win because of the Bogusevic heroics. And it wasn't just Bogey; there were a lot of contributors in that Astros ninth. But now it falls to Lopez to make sure there is no bottom of the ninth tonight.
Ricky Weeks is 0 for 3. He is 1 for 9 against Lopez in his career. Dealing strike one, Wilton gets in front. Dallas Keuchel went 6. And it's been Fick, Wright, Story, and now Lopez, pitcher number 5 for Brad Mills.
Bullpen has been outstanding tonight. Wesley Wright, when you look at his line, he faced 2 guys that gave up 2 hits, but they were both infield hits. One play probably should have been made. Another slow roller to second base that Aoki was able to beat. Fick was very good. Story was outstanding.
It's called ball 2. It's 2-1. Lopez's career against Milwaukee in 17 games, he's 2-0 with a 1.19 ERA. He gets that in for strike 2, even the count at 2-2. Lopez has not given up an earned run in his last 8 appearances, covering 7 innings. He has the lowest walks per 9 innings ratio among all major league relievers, 1.02 walks per 9 innings.
So he might as well go up there hacking, fellas.
3-2. Astros relievers with 21 saves in 35 save opportunities. The bullpen as a whole has a 1.95 ERA in the last 8 games prior to tonight. And smack toward left center field on a line. That's a Weeks double. He had 3 of those last night, and Weeks now gets his 25th 2-base hit of the year.
He's yanking the ball into the left field corner routinely last night. This time he goes into the alley. There's no way he was going to get one down the line on Gonzalez. Marwin was guarding the line at third base. But Weeks, even though he's having an off year, is still a very, very talented hitter.
Jonathan Lucroy will be next. He has a sac fly, a double in 3 trips. The rookie shortstop Segura is on deck. Then the pitcher's spot. And there is one possible pinch hitter left among position players, Martin Maldonado, the other catcher. Lucroy looks at ball 1. Lucroy 1 for 6 against Lopez.
There's Maldonado with the bat in the dugout.
John Axford warming up in the pen. Little dribbler goes foul.
Situation where you might think the Brewers would be inclined to try to bunt to advance Weeks, but they're not playing for a tie here on the road, and Lucroy's been too good of a hitter to give up his at bat. The way Ron Renicke's bullpen has been, to suggest to him that he'd play for a run here, you'd think you're nuts. He said, we need 4 to feel comfortable at this stage of the game, the way my guys have been.
And Lucroy has hit .426 with runners in scoring position, 20 for 47. Bouncer up the middle. Tyler Green lays out for it, gets up, throws to first. Oh, safe at first. Scott Moore was sure he had him. Rackley's call is safe. And now it's first and third, nobody out, with Brad Mills coming out to argue the Rackley call.
Well, I thought it was going to be enough for Tyler Green to keep the ball in the infield to prevent Weeks from scoring, but he made it awfully close at first base. LaCroix not a speedy guy. And the question is, did Moore maintain or reestablish contact with the bag before LaCroix got there? Moore thought so. Mills thought so. Rackley did not. And see for yourself here. Foot's in the air. Wow. It's awfully close anyway, whether he's on the bag or not.
Yep.
I thought it was a matter of him coming off the bag and not getting back, but it looked like LaCroix just beat it.
Did. Now Brad Mills is coming back out.
Oh, there it is. I mean, flip a coin. He's on the base, and that's just an instinct call from the umpire. It's very difficult to. You can break that down 100 times and not know for sure.
First and third, nobody out. Mills talking with this group of infielders. With Segura the batter. Segura's 2 for 3 tonight. And then it'll be a pinch hitter for the pitcher, Veras. So Lucroy was able to get there to first to get his second hit of the night.
Now a situation presents itself where you could see the Brewers putting a little safety squeeze on with Segura. Weeks is a speedy guy down there at third base. Let's see where Renicky would be willing to give up an out here to get Weeks home and tie the game, and that would also push Lucroy into scoring position if Segura is able to execute it. They tried to squeeze with him last night, and he popped up to the pitcher.
Marwin Gonzalez in tied at third.
They may just let him swing.
Bouncer shortstop, runner coming to the plate. Green throws to first. The tying run scores to make it 5-5. There's out number one. Lucroy into second base.
So we got the same result they would have gotten had they executed a squeeze play. A little chopper. Green's not all the way in. His only option becomes first base.
Now Martin Maldonado is the pinch hitter for the pitcher, Veras. Veras in one inning allowed no hits, no runs, had no walks, 1 strikeout. Axford warming up. Maldonado has the runner at second with 1 out. He's a .281 hitter. 6 homers, 22 runs batted in. He's had 171 at bats. 1 for 8 as a pinch hitter with an RBI.
Irony there is that if the Astros have the infield all the way in, Weeks doesn't score on that ball. Likely doesn't try to score.
Maldonado's 2 for 12 against the Astros this year. Came up from Nashville in late May. Fouls that one back, and it's 1-1. Jim Henderson is now warming up for the Brewers. Jonathan Lucroy went on the disabled list with a broken hand. That's when Maldonado came up, but George Kataris, the other catcher, was sharing time with him, and now he's no longer a Brewer. Henderson's been the guy who saved a couple of games earlier this week and has thrown very well and really emerged as quite a story.
Well, that's the thing. If you can just keep it tied, you feel like you can get something done against this Brewer bullpen. Feeling that you didn't have last year. That's as good as they get last year.
True. 1-2 to Maldonado. He's hit .344 in his last 19 games.
Is he related to Candy?
Don't think so. Martin Maldonado's from Puerto Rico. Drafted by the Angels in 04. Milwaukee picked him up as a free agent in 07. Swing and a miss. Lopez gets the out via strikeout for out number 2.
So no win for Dallas Keuchel tonight as the Brewers tie the game here in the 9th, but a nice effort for Dallas. The bullpen had been rock solid, but Ricky Weeks spoiled that with that leadoff double. But the Astros could be looking for their second consecutive walk-off win in the bottom of the ninth.
Good point. Corporon, Francisco, and Green due up. Aoki drove in 2 in the 5th.
He's
2 for 4.
pesky.
Yep.
He's kind of annoying.
And tied ball 1. Both these teams have lost 21 games in their opponent's final at bat this year. Nyjer Morgan's on deck.
That's more than a third of the Brewers' total losses.
Yeah. It's hard for a team to feel spirited when losing that many games late. You do things so well for 8 innings or whatever and then lose at the end.
Team beats you with an onside kick.
1 and 2.
Demoralizing.
It really is tough to put that behind you when it happens a number of times.
So the 2 strikes now, Aoki less likely to drive the ball. So you might cheat, especially those off-field outfielders. Move in just a little bit in case it's a little line drive to left. Give yourself a fighting chance to throw LaCroix out at home.
Up for ball 2.
There is some risk, of course, in doing that because Aoki has shown us the ability to back up outfielders. He's not just a singles hitter. He's got a little pop. His mom, however, is quite tall.
Bouncer first for Moore. Tossing to Lope. Close at first. They get him. The Brewers tied in the 9th with a run on 2 hits. They leave a man in scoring position, and now it is 5-5 going to the bottom of the 9th. Then it's Corporon, Francisco, and Green due up. Astros won a thriller last night in their final at bat, getting 2 in the 9th to clip the Brewers 4-3. And now it's going to be Jim Henderson. He is pitcher number 6 for Ron Renicky in this game. A very interesting story. 29 years old with an ERA of 2.57 in 7 innings. He's walked 1, fanned 10, and he's had a couple of saves.
Yeah, Henderson, native of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, was originally drafted by the Montreal Expos in the 26th round of the 2003 Major League Baseball draft. He made his Major League debut this summer. 10 years in the minor leagues. And so far so good here at this level. He's a hard thrower, 95-mile-an-hour heater, hard slider, and that makes you wonder, well, why is he in the minor leagues so long with that kind of an arm? She knows. Yeah, she's got the bucket of smarts on top of her head.
Well, 6'5", and yeah, even his manager has wondered, wait a minute, the way this guy throws with his velocity, how did he stay in the minor leagues from 03 until this year?
Yeah.
Well, in 08 he missed the majority of that season with right shoulder strain. And then he was released by the Cubs in 09. Milwaukee picked him up that year. His first pitch to Carlos Corporon is ball one. Corp 0 for 3 tonight.
Perhaps had command issues early in his career. Maybe lacked a secondary pitch.
Corporon takes that one, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, big tall guy too. Sometimes guys are just out of whack mechanically, and they never really hit top velocity until they figure that out. Body's flailing around and they're throwing 92 miles an hour. Somebody makes a little adjustment, they stay back and get through the ball better, and all of a sudden they're throwing 95.
1-2. Corporon ripped that line drive homer just inside the right field foul pole in the 8th inning last night after driving in a run in the 5th with a single.
Terry Poole could probably tell us about him, right? I mean, he played on the Canadian national team. I'm guessing Terry managed him.
Sure.
Wow, that's an eat you up slider right there.
1 out on the strikeout by Henderson. Strikeout number 7 for Milwaukee pitching. Yes. A lot of bite to that.
Yeah, the fellows next door, Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder, doing television for the Brewers, told me that Lee Tunnell worked with Henderson in the minor leagues on the slider and really helped polish that pitch up for him. Lee's now the bullpen coach for the Brewers. Their previous bullpen coach was fired when we were in Milwaukee there a few days back.
Ben Francisco singled his first time up. There's ball one. Tyler Green on deck. Henderson went to Tennessee Wesleyan College. Had surgery in 08 for that shoulder issue. Popped up. And sometimes pitchers come back even stronger, throwing harder after surgery. Usually that would be more like the Tommy John type elbow surgery. 1-1. Henderson pitched against the Astros in a 10-1 Milwaukee win in Milwaukee July 31st. Gave up 2 hits and no runs in 1 inning. Pop back. 1-2 for Ben Francisco. The Astros win last night was their 5th win in their final at bat, but their first walk-off win, the bottom of the inning type final at bat at home. You know,
Dennis Eckersley coined that phrase, right? Walk off.
Yes, I think he did.
So and so walked me off.
Yep. Well, you could have a game-winning run in the bottom of the 8th at home, and to take the lead, we'll say by 1, and then that would be a final at bat win because you didn't need to bat in the 9th. Certainly not as dramatic as the game last night. Now that's a strikeout and 2 outs. So Henderson mowing down Corporon, now Francisco. And it's Tyler Green.
Well, double line drive home run tonight. Here's the home run for you. Waited back on that Levon Hernandez slow curveball. Might as well go for it, Tyler.
Earlier he doubled in the first. He's 2 for 4. He also lined out in the 3rd to right field.
He went for it. Well, that's a good slider. Out of depth. Good downward tilt. A power pitch. Good complement to that 95-mile-an-hour heater. Boom. This is reminiscent of Rob Nen, Brad Lidge, big hard-throwing righties.
No balls, 2 strikes. He saved back-to-back wins for Milwaukee in the previous series against Cincinnati and Milwaukee.
What is it about the Brewers and these Canadians?
Good question.
You know, they had Axford, Gagne was good for them for a time.
True. Really good question.
Cornering the market on Canadian closers.
They sure are. They fly across the border like geese and land in Milwaukee. Close games. Struck him out, struck out the side. We move to extra innings. It's tied 5-5.
By Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. Well, the original plan was to make it 2 walk-offs in a row. Now this plan has changed to scoring a run and winning an extra inning game for the first time. Back to you guys.
Oh, yeah. The Astros have not scored in extra innings. Nigel Morgan fouls it away, strike 1. As we begin the 10th inning, Milwaukee is 6-9 in extra inning games. Houston is 0-11.
I see the way you guys are thinking. It's like the Astros have this bucket list for the year they got to check off. Walk-off win, got it.
Altuve's got to hurry on this one. Throws to Moore in time to get Morgan. Very well done by Altuve. 1 out in the 10th.
Not a whole lot of time with Morgan going down the line. Altuve's been rock solid defensively.
He's going to move up the middle on Braun. Braun is 1 for 4. Mickey Story got him looking in the 8th inning. He struck out swinging in the 4th against Keuchel. There's giddy up on that pitch at 93 for strike 1 on a foul tip.
Today is Francisco Cordero's birthday. Oh, we had to get Coco a W here.
Yeah.
He just was granted U.S. citizenship here earlier this week.
That's right. He's had his foot in a boot with that sesamoid bone, forcing him on the disabled list.
Nice.
1 and 2. That's a great location for Wilton.
Brewers have been frustrated with Gary Darling's strike zone tonight, but you know, just about every pitch they've questioned, and when we've looked at on Fox Tracks, it's been good enough. They're borderline low, but for the most part, he's been right on. Well, that one clearly could have gone either way.
The dirt ball 2. They're finally underway in Baltimore after a rain delay lasting hours. Kansas City got a first inning run on an Alex Gordon homer, his 8th. Leading off the game against Chris Tillman. Foul back.
Careful now. Got away with one.
Yeah, he did. And that will happen. Wilton avoids walks, but occasionally will make mistakes out in that zone. Oakland has scored twice in the top of the 8th, still batting at Chicago, leading the White Sox now 8-7. Ron looks at it. It's 3-2 now to Ryan. He's walked 44 times this year. Washington 6, Arizona 5, bottom of the 6th in the desert. Braun takes strike 3. That's the 3rd time he's whiffed.
And this time no argument from Braun as Lopez slips that fastball over the outside part of the plate on him.
Second strikeout for Wilton. Ramos Ramirez follows. He got a hit and scored a run in the second. He's 1 for 4. Detroit 1, Texas 1, bottom of the 6th in Arlington.
13 times the Brewers have struck out tonight.
They have not walked. Ramirez 3 for 6 with a homer against Lopez. One ball, one strike. The Astros will have Altuve, Gonzalez, and Pierce due up in the bottom of the 10th.
That should be enough to get it done.
Pretty good threesome. Two balls and a strike to Aramis Ramirez, assuming that Henderson will stay in the way he pitched the 9th and struck out the side. If you're Ron Renicky, you want to stay with a good thing this year. Swing and a miss there by Ramirez. Makes the count 2-2.
That swing right there is why so many extra inning games go a few extra innings sometimes, because a lot of hitters go up there in hero mode. And Ramirez trying to hit one halfway to Conroe on a Lopez sinker that's down around the ankles.
Three and 2. Seattle is pounding the Angels in Anaheim 7-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. John Jaso hit his 7th. Ripped into left field. Backhanded by Francisco. And there's a 2-out single by Ramirez.
Off-speed pitch there from Lopez. I think a changeup, and he really telegraphed and really slowed everything down and floated that ball up. He's lucky Ramirez didn't hit that one halfway to Conroe. That was a hanger. Of course, Conroe's the other direction. Anyway,
we'll get your point.
Seeley
would be right, yeah. It's 11 hits for Milwaukee. Hart is 0 for 4. Reached on an error, scored a run in the 2nd inning.
Normally you don't think about Ramirez stealing a bag, but he got one back in the 2nd.
Strike to Hart. Got him on the left foot. Jason Marquis in San Diego shut out Pittsburgh on 2 hits, 5-0, beating A.J. Burnett. Headley and Venable went deep. Pirates now 4.5 behind Cincinnati. Off the plate for Wilton. 1 ball, 1 strike. St. Louis and Jake Westbrook down the Phillies 4-1 in Philadelphia, beating Cliff Lee. Cliff Lee's 2-7 with a 3.85 ERA. 1-2.
Cardinals hanging in that race with that high-powered offense, and pitching's been just good enough. Obviously, Chris Carpenter down for the duration, missing him, and Jaime Garcia has been out a good long while now, but he's starting to work his way back. He could be a difference maker for them.
He really could. Who just off the edge, 2-2. Cleveland down Boston 5-2.
You get Hart to expand, go after that outside fastball, and he wouldn't bite.
Big 2-2 pitch coming here. Weeks on deck. How's it back? David Price won his 15th. Tampa Bay beat Minnesota on the road 4-2. Price 15-4 with a 2.5 ERA.
DJ Upton hit a couple home runs for Tampa in that game.
Fernando Rodney got his 35th save. Ricky Nolasco in Miami topped the Dodgers 7-3, beating Joe Blanton. Struck him out to end the top of the 10th at strikeout number 3 for Wilton Lopez. No runs ahead, a man left. Now, can these fans see a winner in the bottom of the 10th? A walk-off, 5-5. Bottom of the 10th is coming. It's Brewers 5, 11-1. Astros 5, 10-1. Glad you're with us tonight. Staying up a little bit later on a Saturday night. It's not really all that late, but it's uncanny how the games start an hour earlier on Saturday nights. We usually wind up finishing about the same time as the weeknight.
Yeah, Saturday we feature a lot of bonus baseball for you.
Yeah.
So we either go extra innings or just play long.
Well, the Astros, who went out 1-2-3 in the 9th on 3 strikeouts by Jim Henderson, will be facing that same pitcher here in the home 10th inning. Jose Altuve to lead it off. He's 2 for 4. Marwin Gonzalez due up second. And then Steve Pearce due to bat third. Altuve will try to get something started here. In the first inning, he singled and came around to score. In the third, he also singled. He stole a base and he scored. Ramos Ramirez is even with a base at third. Niger Morgan over in right center field. Brewers have used all their position players. Strike one.
Corey Hart, the first baseman, well off the line at first base, so they think there's a very remote chance that Altuve is going to slice one down that line. They're willing to concede an extra base hit there to help plug up the hole on the right side. And you can understand their thinking because Altuve is such a good base stealer. If he singles, he's got a real good chance to steal second base anyway.
He takes that one for a ball.
Hart can afford to play a little bit further off that line. Being a right-handed thrower, his glove is closest to the line. He's a big, lanky, rangy guy, so he can cover some pretty good ground. But that sure would be a nice way to start the inning if Jose could slice one down that right field corner.
Work the count to 2-1. A walk would be good. That's the way the winning rally started last night in the 9th for the Astros. In extra innings, the Astros this year have been outscored by their opponents 13-0. This is the 20th extra inning they've played. 2-2 to Altuve. Oh, almost hit him with that one. It's a full count. The only walk in this game was intentional to Brett Wallace back in the 7th.
Backup slider just misses Altuve, or the Astros would have had a leadoff man aboard.
Jose's been walking more lately. He's walked 32 times. Up the middle, and that trickles to the shortstop, but even though Segura made a fine play, he couldn't stop him from an infield hit. Altuve's 3rd of the night. Good effort by Segura.
Well, I'll say so. That was pretty slick. A good tough at bat by Altuve, and a good start to the bottom of the 10th. Brewers look like they picked up a good defensive shortstop.
Now probably a bunt from Marwin Gonzalez. Altuve stretching out there at first as if he might be tight. He was trying to get his legs stretched at first base. Gonzalez is up for the first time. Went in for Wallace at third base. Ramos Ramirez in looking for a bunt. Marwin spins around after showing bunt. It's ball 1. He has 1 sacrifice this year, hitting .241, 2 homers, 9 runs batted in. Pierce is on deck. Showing bunt again. He looks again, and it's 2-0.
Well, situation here where sometimes manager will take the bunt off, give the hitter a free swing, assuming he's going to get a cripple fastball here and turn him loose. Marwin from the left side is pretty legit. From the right side, I just keep the bunt on throughout, but from the left side, he handles the bat pretty well. You might give him a swing.
He takes. It's a strike. 2-1. The corner infielders charging.
What this does, you know, the pitches that Marwin's been able to take in this at bat, it's allowed the Astros to get a pretty good read on how quick Henderson is to home. Should they opt to try to steal a base?
Marwin hit a homer Monday night against Washington. Taking that for ball 3.
Henderson there trying to be so quick to home plate. And his primary goal is to make sure he throws a strike here. The last thing Ron Renicky wants to see is this big right-hander walk Gonzalez, push that winning run into scoring position without getting the out.
Henderson's walked only 1 in 8 innings as a Brewer. He walked 22 in 48 innings at Nashville. With a runner going, and that's slap foul. Oh, that could have been big.
I like it. Same philosophy there. 3-1 as I was talking about on 2-0. You know the guy's got to come in. You trust the hitter in the box to put the ball in play. You start a speedy runner off of first base. So even if Gonzalez swings and misses, you got a real good chance of stealing that bag.
Gonzalez faced Henderson in the 8th inning at Milwaukee July 31st and grounded out after an Altuve infield hit. 3-2 pitch coming. Altuve takes off, and it's fouled again. Gonzalez has struck out 24 times in 166 at bats. Time called. Altuve was edging off first a little bit more. Estrada, the Milwaukee starter, went 4. Hernandez, Parra, Lowe, Veras, and Henderson have worked. Runner going, and it's ball 4. 2 men on, nobody out. Great job by Marwin Gonzalez to lay off and take that walk after fouling off a couple of pitches.
Yeah, because that's a time where a lot of hitters get into swing mode, especially if they know the runner's moving. They get a little overly anxious and will ultimately chase a bad ball. Not Marwin. Outstanding at bat. The Astros in great shape here.
Pitching coach Rick Kranitz to the mound. Yeah, Marwin bided his time. He was around to bunt, took some pitches for balls early in the at bat. Very nice job. So rather than using an out, the Astros now have runners at first and second with nobody out, and Steve Pearce coming up. And Pearce is 3 for 4 in this game with 3 runs batted in. Scott Moore on deck.
Normally don't ask your cleanup hitter to bunt, but the Astros really don't have a prototypical cleanup hitter.
If you're going by who's hot in this game, Pearce is the guy you want to swing the bat. But that's righty on righty, and you got Moore and Bogusevic, left-handed batters behind him. See how they play it.
And I don't know throughout his minor league career how much Pearce has been asked to bunt, whether Brad Mills is confident he could get the bunt down anyway. Might just say, hey, let's take 3 whacks at it trying to drive in this winning run.
Ramirez even with the bag. Hart is in. He's around to bunt and taking ball 1. Altuve there. Henderson looks over to Ramirez. A lot going on here for Henderson process.
Yeah. Ramirez flashing the signs to the infielders on what kind of bunt defense they're going to put on. And then because pitchers are deemed to be not smart enough to understand the signs, most of the time the third baseman will relay it to him verbally. Always chap me.
Not that we could tell.
It's just, they got so much going on. Let's just tell them. Let's not give them some. I get it. I'm just kidding.
That's 1-0 to Pearce. Henderson was a starting pitcher in the low minors. Has not started since 05 in A ball. Taken for a ball.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Right back to that same situation.
Yeah.
Swing.
Exactly.
Swing it.
Very much like what Marwin just went through.
And now, the count turns into a hitter's count. Henderson's got to find the strike zone here pretty soon. I feel like you're going to get a pretty hittable pitch here.
Steve Pearce, University of South Carolina, with a chance to do something big here. And he was a part of it last night in the bottom of the 9th inning, scoring that game-winning run after an RBI single. He takes a strike. 2-1.
Wow.
Pearce tied the game last night. Then he continued after that RBI single on to second on the error by the center fielder Gomez. And with 1 out, he scored on Bogusevic's game winner. Here comes the pitcher again.
It's almost like Clarke and Ramirez are on the same program. As Ramirez goes to the mound, Clarke goes down to talk to Pierce, and Pierce just not sure what they want him to do there. I think Brad Mills wanted to see Pierce being aggressive on 2-0 as opposed to taking that fastball for strike one. And if you take the bunt off in that situation, that's telling the hitter, go ahead and take a rip if you get a strike.
Infielders are creeping in closer now. And he shows bunt and takes a ball again. This has been an issue for Henderson, throwing strikes in a bunt situation. Falling behind 3-1. Henderson in only his 9th major league game.
And LaCroix behind the plate. He's trying to guess along with the Astros, trying to figure out are we swinging here? Are they bunting here? What are they trying to do? And I'm guessing he thought he would be swinging. That's why he called the slider.
That's ball 4, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. On an infield hit and 2 walks. And Scott Moore will bat.
Wow. This game's over, right? Bases loaded, nobody out.
Not yet.
Got to get a run here.
Not yet.
Here comes, they're putting the blitz on. Here comes Braun into the infield. This is fun.
Oh, yes, it is. They're going with 2 outfielders, Nyjer Morgan and Aoki. And they're going to try to cover as much as they can, but they have to be in position to make a throw to the plate.
Where if you're the Brewers, you wish you just had an extreme ground ball pitcher out there. Ramirez and Braun are laughing.
Yeah. Ramirez said, here, why don't you go over and play third since you used to play third? I'll play between third and short.
Yeah, these guys are out there yucking it up. Meanwhile, Henderson's got the bases juiced and nobody out.
5 infielders, and Scott Moore bats. Now Segura's going to move over to the first base side because of the left-handed batter Moore. And they're all over the place for Moore. There's strike 1. He saw a pitch up and saw something he thought maybe he could lift.
Well, he's got all kinds of room to operate in the outfield, and obviously with the winning run on third base, any fly ball of any depth at all gets the job done, especially to Morgan. Nyjer doesn't throw well at all, so he's really shallow. He's playing like deep short. Might as well bring him into the infield too.
Moore has hit 3 of his 5 home runs this year against the Brewers. All kinds of room in straightaway center and right center. Tons of room out there. That's a liner to left, and that'll win it. For the second straight night, the Astros get a walk-off win. Altuve scores the game winner on a hit by Scott Moore. It's a delirious feeling in the Houston outfield as they do what they did 24 hours ago. Celebrate a walk-off win.
For them. Tough year. 2 dramatic wins, back-to-back nights. The black and white unis are getting it done, Brownie.
You could see a lot more of those unis. As the Astros win this one in the 10th, 6-5. It was disappointing for them to lose that 1-run lead in the 9th inning when Milwaukee tied it. But then, even though Henderson came in and struck out 3 quickly in the 9th, they were able to regroup here in the 10th. And they did it with nobody out, JD.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a desperate time for Ron Redecky. Bases loaded, nobody out. Not a bad idea to pull in that extra infielder in hopes of getting a ground ball. But nice job by Moore after the big swing, cutting down a little bit with 1 strike and just punching that ball into the open territory out there in left field. Big hug from the manager. Got to wear the same socks to work again tomorrow, Brownie. It's going to get a little stanky up here.
That's all right. It's the first home series win for the Astros since they won 2 of 3 from Cleveland the 3rd week in June. And they were 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And you were right after all. Bases loaded, nobody out. Sure, that's a formula for a win, but they had to do it. And Moore did it with his 15th run batted in. Let's go to Greg Lucas on the field.
Funny, but before the game, Scott and I were talking because he came this close to maybe winning it last night. So, hey, what's 24 hours, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if last night would have been great, but Bogey came up with the hit, and then tonight, yeah, it feels great. I'll tell you what, it just shows what a game is, too, because it was a tough night for you up until when it really mattered.
Yeah, you know, the guys tonight gave me a lot of opportunities just like that tonight. Fortunately, I was able to come through in the last one.
You know, we've been talking all game about these uniforms. There's something magic about them, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully we'll wear them again tomorrow, and then maybe we'll take them on the road.
I'll tell you what, it was a thrilling victory. First time the Astros have scored in extra innings. First time they've won an extra inning game. Yesterday, the first come from behind in the bottom of the ninth game. So I don't know what's next.
Yeah, you know, maybe tomorrow we'll make it a little easier on ourselves. Win it before the ninth.
Well, on behalf of all the Astro fans, Scott Moore, thank you for ending it and making it an Astros win.
All right, thank you.
Scott Moore has been with us. Back to you guys.
Oh, what a happy weekend underway after the Astros were swept in the previous 4-game series by Washington. They're turning around this homestand. Fans who have stayed really enjoyed the show. They saw another walk-off for the second straight night. In the 10th, the Astros beat the Brewers 6-5.